later. The little drawing I did. Cling, cling.
Controversy.
Strategery.
Strategery and anime? Why am I echoing?
Well, we know it's not on my end now.
Check. Check, check. Asshole, asshole. Hey, I'm live.
Piss out my ass.
Let's see. This one.
Oh, should we set up the chat thing?
Already in there.
The IRC?
Yeah.
Already yet.
Yeah. This is the hour pregame. It's supposed to run at 7 to 7:30. Well, you know, it's NTR Radio, you know.
Yeah, it wouldn't be NTR Radio if,
Without technical problems.
If everything didn't destroy itself the minute before we started the podcast.
Yeah.
With our luck, I'm gonna get the new mixer, and then I'm gonna turn it on once we start. And
somebody will die.
Well, no, it's gonna work perfectly every single time beforehand. But then we're gonna start, turn it on, and it'll just combust. Like
or one of
lithium,
us
it'll just
fall over.
burst into flame.
Yeah. Let's try to get done by 12.
We will try.
This is not sounding so hot on my end.
Get that to the side here. Get that to the other side here.
Yeah, I'm hearing an echo.
Can't imagine why. Forgot to do the drop-in test. 3, 2, 1.
That sounded fine.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. All right, ready.
I think
Good.
I'm still echoing. Wait a minute. Check. Okay, seems okay right now.
All right. Set. Okay. Ready.
Yeah. Oh crap! I echoed. This does not bode well.
So all this is gonna do is piss me off. That's the only thing it's gonna accomplish. Down a bit the gain there.
Abortcast 2016.
Testing.
Okay.
Yes.
Better?
Check. Echo. All right.
Ballin'. In 3, 2, 1.
All units, this is Neko 2 in actual, be advised. Initial thermal scans show content that may not be suitable for those who are easily offended or under the age of 18. Break. We're seeing coarse language, dark humor, and discussion of adult otaku media ahead. Listener discretion is strongly advised before proceeding. Neko 2-1 out.
Emergency! Emergency! The massive battleship NTR Radio is approaching fast. Your mission begins now. Welcome to NTR Radio. I'm Tom Forster Nubis.
And I'm hot. Serious. I'm K-Gods.
And I'm VZ Mark II.
Yeah. We are having some serious technical issues here.
Yeah, so this episode was delayed one time, and then another time, and further delayed by technical difficulties.
And as if that wasn't bad enough from the mechanical side of it, my air conditioner decided to crap out.
See, they're trying to three-pronged attack now.
Yeah,
Once again, their first mistake was allowing us to have internet connections and microphones.
Certainly, or at least power.
What do we do, Cthulhu? Cthulhu?
Yeah, so how's everybody been doing?
I'm okay now, but holy shit! Last week, I got an epic rant to go on for. But before you start, how are you doing, Anubis?
I'm doing pretty well. I actually have a K-Gods-esque story that involves not personal injury, but disaster.
I live for these.
So
usually I'm the one telling them.
Yeah, so last weekend I went to a small convention around town, mostly to hang out with some of my friends who are vending there.
Okay.
But Sunday I get out and go to the car to start driving to convention. I back out of the driveway, put it in drive, hit the accelerator, and ka-dunk!
Uh-oh.
Long story short, the front side, passenger side tire just completely. The wheel decided to separate itself from the car. The wheel was like, you know what? I'm done. I'm all set. I've had it. I'm gone. So it separated itself from the side of the car. I'm just happy it didn't happen while I was out on the road, because that would have been complete disaster.
I thought for sure you were gonna say I backed up, I hit the accelerator, and I hit a cosplayer.
So I guess you need a new tire now.
Well, no, I got a new car. Because, number one, my old car is from 1995.
Yeah, it's
We're
pretty
lucky
old.
it survived this long. Number two, there's no way I'm going to trust that car ever again when I know that there's a possibility of one of the wheels just giving up.
Deciding
you know
to
what?
give up the ghost.
Yeah, he's like, you know what? I'm all set. And
I ain't afraid of no
separating itself from the rest of the vehicle. So there's no way I'm gonna drive that car ever again.
I'm due to get a new vehicle as well, because my truck, it's just getting pretty old. It's I think 2003, 2004.
And I'm due for nothing.
Yeah, but you live in New York, so you don't need a car.
Truthfully, actually, that is true, because
you could just get like a hang glider.
The traffic.
Okay, hang on.
The traffic in New York has increased exponentially in the past 20 years. You can't go anywhere.
Like I said, hang glider. It's kind of like, especially if you're up high.
Why don't you just get a helicopter with the retractable gear?
Or you could just get like the Batman hook.
Yeah.
Or the dark
hook your way around the city.
Or the Darkwing Duck gas gun that shoots suction cup plunger thing.
Movies and TV lied to me. It's 2016. Where's my damn hoverboard? I don't mean like the hoverboard.
The Segway without the stick.
Yeah, no. I want going on there and just.
I think you still have to have some level of hand-eye coordination.
Yeah, see, I can't even skateboard properly. I would.
Imagine there being air currents being involved in the equation.
Yeah, there's no way.
Like jetpack already, just.
Yeah.
Jetpack's even worse.
Like Solar Jetman, you're just spinning around randomly.
Okay. Rant time. Okay.
Before you go on the rant, I'm gonna tell people how to get in the IRC.
All right.
So here's what you do: you go to she'slostcontrol.net/podcast. Hit up the upper right side corner of the screen. You'll see the chat link. Click that. It'll take you to the page with an IRC client in there. Give yourself a nickname and join us in the IRC channel. Alternatively, you can go to your favorite IRC client, get yourself to irc.ryzen.net, and we are in the #SLC media channel. In addition to that, you can get at us on Twitter at TEAnubis and at VZMK2, and as always, you can catch us in the email box at the email address, which is ntrradio@gmail.com. Rant time, go.
Okay.
Get your ass in the chat.
Okay, so last week I got 2 shows sent from Right Stuff. One of them, it was the Blu-ray release of Lucky Star from Funimation. Now, I know that this was it's an older show that was made in that digital era of like 2000, before the high definition era. So I was expecting it to be a kind of an upscale, somewhat.
Okay.
All right. The video quality is shit.
Ooh.
It is like, it's like you see the jaggedness of the lines. The line is all like you see the pixel. You see the. All right.
Right.
I tried all different settings for my TV. Now on the back it doesn't say 1080p. It says 1080i.
Right.
Yeah, so it's interlaced. Yeah.
Yeah. It still shouldn't look like that.
No.
Here's the thing. I know what what Lucky Star in HD should look like, because I have on my computer the Japanese release of the show, which looked fine. I don't know what the fuck happened.
Somebody dropped the.
Yeah, well, I'll get into that. I put in the DVD version because it's one of those DVD Blu-ray combos.
Right.
It still looks like shit. I compare it with the 2008 Bandai discs that I was gonna sell to someone, but I'm keeping those now because you know what? That looks better than this. I don't know what the fuck happened. I'm not 100% blaming Funimation. Here's why. There's been times when the Japanese companies deliberately sabotage our releases.
I've seen that before.
Alright? Especially since this is Kadokawa. Alright? I don't know what the fuck happened. I'm still kind of annoyed with Funimation because they should have looked at this. I don't know. I contacted Right Stuff. I contacted Funimation. I can't get this returned. So I'm stuck right now. I'm stuck. I'm not going to say what I'm going to do with it just yet. But yeah. But suffice to say, public service announcement: avoid this release. I'm not avoiding Funimation releases, but I'm certainly not pre-ordering anything from them anymore. And I mean, because there's still stuff I want from them. They're doing the strike, which is movie finally.
Mm-hmm.
It only took 4 years.
I hope for their sake it comes out before the prison school dub, because if they fuck that up,
it actually is, because I haven't seen Prison School solicited, and this is coming out in October.
Good.
Right.
Hopefully, the delay of Prison School means they're fixing it, because they kind of fucked that up. But we'll hear more about that in the second segment.
Okay, so luckily, I was also watching Garment Girl Graffiti, or Kofuku Graffiti as it originally known. That was perfect.
Mm.
That looks exactly like the way it should. Video quality, perfect. It's about as good as it can get. So, no dub, but you don't need a dub for that type of show.
Yeah.
So.
Interesting. I looked at the review of it on the fandom post, and I don't really see any comments like that.
I actually did see one for if you want to look for Lucky Star Blu-ray review, Amazon, one review only mentioned the same exact problem I did.
Which is weird because that's the kind of thing that someone like Chris Beveridge would point out.
Yeah, I'll look at that later. If that's the Blu-ray release.
Yeah, it's the combo. Blu-ray
Yeah.
DVD combo, and
That's it.
And it was just put up a couple days ago.
I'll look at that later.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Transfer. Yeah, it says original aspect ratio of 1.78 by 1.
Yeah. Oh, see, other people are on Amazon are doing the same thing. They're showing the difference with the video quality.
Anyway, I don't know. I don't have it, so.
Nah. Yeah, see, in the last picture, if you zoom in, you can see the jaggies on the hair, everyone, and they're just sitting down at that bit. But the problem is more noticeable once they start moving, which is all the time. Yeah. So that's it.
I gotcha. Well, all you can do is really complain.
Or, not buy from Funimation ever again.
No, because it's there's been other releases that have been perfect from them, so it has nothing to do with that. I mean, put it this way, even like both of you guys have the Strike, which is those cheap re-release sets.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Now the first season that was what do they call it when they that was an obvious upscale because it wasn't anime. That still looked better than this. And I haven't had any problems with any other Funimation things. I've put in whenever I was reviewing stuff for Collection DX, Otaku CDX, I was putting in, I was only sent like DVDs on. I put in the DVD and put that on, high definition. That still looked good. So again, it's just this show. It's just I don't know.
Did they just get like a pissy master or something?
I think it was sabotage. I think it was sabotage by the Japanese company, by Katakawa.
Yeah, but why?
Because they don't
It doesn't
want.
make sense to me.
Because reverse input. They don't want. Because it's a cheap release. They don't want.
Yeah, but then why don't they just do that for everything? If
It's
reverse importation is the concern,
because
why don't
Lucky
they just do
Star
it
is
for
a higher profile show, whereas Kofuka Graffiti wasn't really. It has to do with.
I get that, but to me, that just stands to reason that they do it for the highest profile show, but why then just leave the low profile shows? If it's that easy to just give a shitty master to the U.S. distribution company, why not just do that for everything if that's the motivation?
Again, I don't 100% have the answer in this, and I wish I knew what. I wish other people knew. I even sent. I'm hoping he's going to answer. I know what you're going to say in a second, but I actually sent Justin Savegas a question about this. This release. Which to be
I just
fair,
hope he doesn't lie to you.
this is his specialty. Which is, putting stuff on discs and all that. That's his specialty.
Well, it's well, you and I did the episode, VZ. I can't trust that he's not going to lie to people.
Anyway, I believe absent on that one.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah. Okay. In any case, some things going on here. Well, for one, I'm hot. I think we've established that. It's and by that I do mean as in Celsius. Burning up here. Beyond that, I've been watching. I got really annoyed, and I'll get into this a little later, by something I saw. So I decided to just watch something that was just blatantly raunchy. So I actually started watching To Love Ru. Pretty amusing. I mean,
you started right from the beginning.
Well, of course.
Okay, because I've seen bits of To Love Ru. I seen a little of the beginning. I saw all the OVA, and I think I saw one of the other ones, one of the other like
Okay. In any case, it's pretty fun. I mean, it's not exactly the most original or most.
No. It's basically Urusei Yatsura with Rama one half and all that.
Yeah. There's it's harem. A guy with get this orange hair. That you don't see that as much as you don't really see that a whole lot. It doesn't seem like not a main protagonist anyway. Anyhow. Maybe I just haven't seen enough of the right things.
Mm-hmm.
But in any case, I'm about a quarter through it. Let's see. Actually, no, closer to probably a third.
Mm.
And it's pretty fun for what it is. I mean, I enjoy the somewhat carefree nature of it. Anytime I'm watching it, it doesn't feel like it's really going somewhere like substantial,
Right.
if you know what I mean.
It's not designed to.
No, it's fan service heavy.
It runs in Shonen Jump, so that kind of tells you where.
Yeah, there you go. And it's pretty shameless. I mean, it's sometimes pretty funny about it. Like,
if you ever seen the manga, it's like
Yeah.
like near hentai
Yeah,
without
borderline hentai.
Lots of like gratuitous nudity and it's not quite as. I mean, it does have its elements of humor, but it doesn't make me laugh as hard as something like High School DxD, which is just. And yes, I know it's technically not supposed to be called DxD. You're not supposed to pronounce it, but for lack of for being able to say it easier, I usually do.
That said, I do like I will save any picture of like Mikon from that.
His little sister.
Yes.
Yeah, with the completely fucking psycho hair.
Yes.
It almost reminds you of that hairstyle reminds me of something specifically, almost like a villain from Power Rangers or something. You know what I mean? It's just kind of like
her pineapple hair.
Yeah, it's just kind of like spazzy a bit.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's mildly entertaining. My favorite character design hasn't shown up yet, unfortunately.
Oh, is it the nurse?
No.
Oh, okay. Because I also she's the other one I like in the show.
No, it's Momo.
Oh, Momo. That's the. Oh, wait, is that the main girl? No, with the
no.
That's the.
She has pink hair too, but.
Oh, she's the younger sister of Lala. That's right. I know. I remember now. Yeah.
Yes, I also like Yui from there too. She has that tsundere, but it's not like a violent one so much as it's hard to explain. Definitely one of those like holier than thou kind of types.
Right.
Yeah. I love the opening for the OVA though. If you ever seen the opening for the OVA, you'll know.
I'll get there. I'm watching it now.
It's just all the female characters and their breasts bouncing.
Okay. I'm sold on it.
It's like this is exactly what you want, don't you? I love
my soggy knees.
Yeah, it has big breasts bouncing, little breasts bouncing, and then you have like the school nurse one where it's just like boing, boing, boing.
What's her name? Tangerine, I think it's. She's the one who wears like the freaking dominatrix like outfits and shit.
Yeah.
And has this really haughty like I'm royalty kind of complex going on. Pretty entertaining character, and also has that high-pitched laugh some of those type of girls have. I'm not even imitating that.
I'm surprised none of you guys have seen, because I think you at least would want to see it once. The show, I'm trying to remember the name. Wait a minute. Wow, I can't think. The one.
Where's the fail horn?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, I can't remember, but it's the one that's colloquially called Color Wars.
Is this sponsored by Crayola?
Shit, I'm trying to remember the one. Oh man, now.
Team Purple Mountain's Majesty.
Laser Lemon.
Yeah, Electric Lime. That does sound like the name of like a team. Maybe I've just seen too much Legends of the Hidden Temple.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, in Ichiban Ursha no Daimao. That's it.
Okay.
That's it. From 2010. It only had one season, so I'm surprised you haven't seen that, because that's kind of in the high school DD type of like harem fighting show, and it was okay to watch one time through.
I actually did watch an episode just as a sample. You know how sometimes you'll see stuff on demand and you'll just be like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
I do that sometimes. I saw one. Chivalry of a Failed Knight, I think it's called. Or something like that. I might have it slightly worded wrong, but it was something like that. It was okay. Not something I'm going to continue.
Yeah. I will say, the opening for Daimao is probably one of my top anime openings. And there's a lot of it's such a good song to it.
Are the characters running?
Actually, it does. I do like the premise where it's like because even though it's a harem, it's like they're all like fighting each other.
Right, but that was kind of the humor though. Like every anime opening has characters running in it. Almost. If you really think about it.
It reminds me of like something like from the Go-Go's or something. It has a very like 80s type of sound.
What, like We Got the Beats? Or...
Yeah. It sounds exactly like that.
I don't know if I like that or not. Ooh.
It sounds exactly like that song.
That's a little too diabetes for me. Ooh.
Or the one, I don't remember if it was them that did the song, but you know the one Vacation. Vacation.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it sounds a bit like that too.
Yeah, so basically like summertime bubblegum pop.
Yes.
Yep. All right.
And one more thing about that show, Akito Isaki plays the best character.
Okay.
Right.
There you go.
There you go. The other stuff I've been watching this is obviously, stuff from this season. It's basically 2 really strong shows and 3 average shows.
Alrighty.
The 2 strong ones are Sweetness and Lightning and Love Live Sunshine. So Junie Girl's the best in Love Live Sunshine. She's really funny. Because it's like she's in high school, but she's still doing the Chuny stuff. It's like, no, I can't do this stuff anymore. And she has this like overreacting of like her like just rolling on the floor and then like bumps into a candlelight stand, like as she's rolling. It's like, ah! And then she's like, ah! but then it's like, come join us. But I might do Chuny stuff. I might do, it's like, that's okay.
Well then, beyond that, I unfortunately have had some unpleasantness here. Some of it I'm not going to talk about just because it's not relevant to the show at all.
Same here, but
there's some family issues that's been going on, and you know how that can be. It's just like, you have like relatives that are getting in trouble with shit or just are causing trouble for everybody else,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and that's kind of when you got to get the axe and cut that relationship.
Yeah.
Sometimes you do. Well, Anyhow, as I gawkingly stare at my Esdeath Dakimakura.
Oh, they have a docu now of that they're gonna sell of Darjeeling.
Yeah.
Anubis is sitting there
Yeah.
counting his pennies, just like,
Exactly.
yeah. I can just see it. It's just like you have that thing like where someone's starry-eyed and like it gets blurry and it goes into like a scene change.
The dream scene.
Yeah, and it's just like, and then Michael Bolton comes on. When a man fucks a pillow.
I want you to carry it in public.
Yeah, it's
Why
not
would-
happening.
Why would you want to sully it?
Just
Like get
Yeah,
dirt and crap on it,
Expose it to the elements and shit? No, it's not happening.
especially how much these things cost.
Yeah.
This is my waifu. Well, that's why you
Dude.
buy several. That's why you buy several.
Yeah.
That's the opposite of solving that problem. Hey, this thing is expensive. So instead of protecting it, I'm just gonna buy more. That's
What do you think I am,
literally
Donald
doing
Trump?
the opposite thing. Yeah, exactly. It's literally doing the opposite thing.
That's
of
what some of the
solving problem.
otaku do, by the way. They buy like several for like.
Well, yeah. They buy.
Well, yeah, but then
they buy a dupe. They buy
They
a
don't
dupe.
deliberately. Yeah, they don't deliberately sully their own property. Then
Yeah.
they
Well,
take
yeah.
care of it, they take care of all of them because then you just spent like twice, 3 times as much on it.
They dupe. They buy a dupe of a figure so they can blast their junk on that one, and
Or they do that, which is.
then they
gonna
upload it,
judge.
and then they upload it on the Burus so you can watch semen semen underscore on underscore figure.
I don't even think I have a drop-in for that.
Yeah.
I don't think there's an appropriate drop-in.
Oh,
in this
sex is
repertoire.
bad.
Sure.
Sex is bad. Stop thinking about
Sex is bad. Stop talking
Well,
about it.
There we
But
go.
I'm right. They do have those.
Yeah, no, I know all about it. Don't worry.
I mean, like I'm
Well
not.
aware.
I'm not even making up that tag.
Yeah, no, I'm well aware.
And I wish I didn't know that. But it's there, I mean, we don't have. I guess we don't really have a good drop-in for that, do we?
No,
I mean, it's not like you can just like hit like a jingle and someone will start singing if you like semen coladas.
There really is no good drop-in for this.
We get laid. We play football and we get laid.
So
Yeah, see, that
that's
don't
not a
work.
good one either.
Not really.
This is fucking worse than an R.L. Stein book.
There, that's the drop-in.
Yeah. Still doesn't quite work.
It doesn't
it. Why don't
quite
you
work.
know what you need? You know what you need to
Suck
drop
the
in
perspective
for?
of it.
You know what you need to drop in for? The famous Wilhelm scream.
Ah!
Yeah, I think that kind of describes me.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So, does anybody else have anything to add before we move into the break?
I actually watched stuff this time.
Oh, okay. Let's hear.
So I watched the first episode of New Game.
Okay. I've been hearing about that.
I'm really enjoying it so far. It's kind of the same sort of appeal that Shirobako has for me,
Okay.
where it's like the process of being in a workplace and working on shit. Except I feel like this is going to be a lot less in-depth than Shirobako.
No.
Yeah, that's kind of how it is. I'm watching it.
So, if I'm not mistaken, isn't New Game the lesbians working on the
Oh yeah, that
Yes.
was the.
on the game company or
Lesbians
whatever?
make a video game. Yep.
So it's like Erage, but the sanitized version.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
And without
yeah,
a dude there.
yeah, and without a dude there. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, how do you say your name? Oba?
Alba.
Yeah. She's 18, but she looks like a middle schooler.
Oh, so she's like the president of that. So the parallels
Yep.
are very similar.
Yep.
It's almost just like, hey, we wanted to use the same idea, except there won't be peeing in people's mouths and so forth. Yeah,
I watched
lunch
that.
break.
I watched the first episode of Planetarian. Enjoyed that.
I like the name.
And then I watched the first half of the first episode of. Let me see if I can find the title for this thing.
It was that bad that you only made it halfway through?
Well, no, because I was watching it like right before we started recording.
Oh,
So,
okay.
So by the time it was halfway, I already said, let me start this up right now. But I watched this. I would have completely passed it over had I not seen like the A&M preview guide and seen it universally panned.
Oh,
So
I know
like,
which
yeah,
one. It's one of
these
two
people hate
shows.
it.
It's one of two shows. I know which one you're gonna say.
It's Hybrid X Heart Magia Academy Ataraxia.
Yes.
Yeah, universally panned in the preview guide.
But why?
So I figure, yeah, what?
Oh,
Because it has boobs in it.
yeah,
Oh, okay,
it's
okay.
a total fan service show. It's the type of show that you have to watch the uncensored broadcast.
So
Exactly.
so it's like Ladies versus Butlers or anything like that,
Ladies
where
It's
you
like
don't,
it's like Valkyrie Drive.
or
Valkyrie
anything like Sen Kagura or anything. You just want to see it and all.
Exactly.
Jiggly
So
glory.
It's like,
But
So it's like
the
you-
premise is that he has to like get the girls aroused. The main guy, he has to get the
in order
girls.
to recharge their
Yes,
powers.
yes.
So that reminds me distinctly of a hentai out there. It was licensed under the name Dragon Pink.
Dragon
Oh
Pink.
yeah.
Where the one elf girl needs to recharge her mana. I'll let you figure out how she does that. Yeah, let's just say there are certain secretions that give you mana. Yeah.
But yeah, so universally panned on A&N. So I was like, you know what?
It's a good enough
it's
reason
at
for
least
at
worth
least
a
to
shot.
take it a look at. Yeah, I've done that too. Just it's like, what is this? What is so horrible about this?
Yeah.
When you called it, I think I'm just gonna call it ataraxia for short,
Yeah.
I just say hybrid heart.
as opposed to anorexia.
I say hybrid heart for short.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I watched the first half of the first episode of that, and and I've started rewatching a couple stuff and actually, watching some of the stuff that's on my shelf now.
Right.
Yeah. No, the stuff that's just kind of sitting there.
I started actually earnestly watching Welcome to the NHK.
Yeah.
I've seen a couple episodes.
First off, how far did you get? That way I don't
No,
spoil something.
I'm only on the
Oh, me?
total. I've gotten into the first. I think I originally stopped at episode 4.
I seen about like 3.
Okay.
Or episode
Well,
6 maybe. I don't know.
Well,
But I know a little bit about what happens later on because of the.
okay. Well, I'm asking him a question then.
All right.
That do you has he gotten the porn yet?
Not yet. As far as my rewatch, not yet.
Okay. Because that scene's really funny.
Oh yeah, I remember that scene.
Yeah, like where he's sitting there like with a thing of Kleenex or whatever on the ground, and it's like this playing this really bouncy kind of upbeat music, and he's sitting there, and you keep seeing like lightning flashes when it zooms out of the house and shit, and explosions and stuff. It's ridiculous. It's really entertaining.
I really recommend. Now you can't see Love Live Sunshine because that's you haven't seen much of the original yet.
Right.
So, but I recommend Sweetness and Lightning.
I might try that one out.
Yeah.
I like the name. Sounds sounds like it could be fun.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's the father and the little and the daughter. They've been making a lot of those type of shows where not necessarily blood related, but like an adult character having to raise like someone young. They've been doing that for the past several years.
With a controversial ending that you totally don't see coming.
Well, that's one which wasn't even in that show version. We're talking about
Usagi Drop.
Yeah, Usagi Drop.
No, I'm just saying though. In general, that seems to be a bit of a pattern.
Well, actually, no, you're right because
That's probably why they're not blood related.
I'm trying to remember the show. Papa Kiki. Listen to me, girls, I'm your father. That's how, but only in like one of the OVAs. They ended it with like, he's marrying his not daughter.
Yeah, he's You know,
just out of nowhere.
the blinds are drawn, the shadowy figures are bumping and grinding.
It's just so out of nowhere. It's like, wait, how did this relationship? It pulled an horror emo.
For some reason, Doctor Who music's playing in the background.
No, but there's nothing like that in this show. So it's just pure like really nice, really well drawn food.
Yeah, but you should watch Food Wars if you want to watch that.
See, everyone liked that show. I couldn't get into it.
Which I saw a really fucking funny condemnation of that show because they were really butthurt about the orgasmic faces and noises they made when they were eating.
That's like Kafuka Graffiti also, where it's like they sound like they're having an orgasm while they're eating the food.
Yeah, it's just like it's so good, you know.
Yeah,
I mean, and like it's and of course the just really stupid comments about that.
Naturally.
It's just like, you know, you could just not watch that show. You know.
But fan service is bad. It's like a night fan
indeed
service.
an option.
Where's the fan service?
Here's an option. Shut up.
I want my social justice anime.
Well, you know what? We'll hear about a lot more about that in the second segment.
After the break.
Keep it right here on NTR Radio.
Call 1-800-55... No.
Okay, I will.
Hit that button. And then hit that button. That button.
Whoa, fuck. That was loud as hell, dude.
Yeah. Forgot to turn the volume down.
Whoops. No, as you shop the paprika. It does totally sounds like something you'd hear while you're shopping. On a good day, otherwise you might get stuck listening to Bieber or something. Welcome to Midnight Q. Can you hear the smooth sound of Charles Mingus? I feel like I'm playing Tetris. With those sound effects. It'd probably be going faster if it was, though.
Yeah, probably. I have some articles to pull up.
Oh.
Okay. Love lovers, come out and play.
I got this horrible visual of Lane saying that. Of him sitting there, like, you know, just, I don't know, like with a freaking glow stick or something.
2 idols enter, 1 idol leave.
Grr, grr. Why does that exist? It's like this really bad, like, quasi-Jaws theme. Except it's not that you're in danger, it's that suck is about to hit.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, you know how on your phone you'll get, like, severe weather alerts? Like, you'll get, like, a local, like, Doppler, like, alert. Yeah. It'll just be like, you know, like flash flooding's coming your way or something. Yeah, your phone. It's kind of like that, except you're about to have your ears mercilessly penetrated.
I got that on my phone too, but I had to like silence that because it was like too loud.
Yeah, because then you would hear fucking Amber Alerts and all kinds of shit.
Oh, yes. I mean, I did the other day. I did get like a flood alert.
Yeah, I got something like that too. It exists because date rape for jocks need background music too. Yeah, kinda. Have you seen that video?
No.
Actually, yeah, you did because you were laughing the entire way. Remember?
What, the
break stuff video?
Yeah, the break stuff video. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's got all these try-hard people in there, and for some reason, people just like cruising around on bikes and skateboards and shit.
Yep. A whole bunch of people trying to be hardcore for no real reason.
But you know what it reminds me of? Did you ever see the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie?
Yes.
No, I probably did at some point.
The original one, not like the newer ones. You know the scene where they go to the thing and everybody's playing pool, and like smoking cigars and skateboarding and shit. It's like that. That's what they're kind of going for, I think.
That first Turtles movie aged really well compared to like.
It's actually it's a genuinely good flick. Unlike some other movies, Nookie might be worse. Yeah, it might because it's twice as long.
Yeah. It's twice as long, so it's twice as bad.
And it might be dumber.
Which one?
Just.
What movie?
Don't ask questions you don't want
the answer to. Yeah, there you go.
That's okay.
Yes, or you too will be enlightened by Fred Durst. Ooh.
Okay, ready on second segment.
I am indeed.
Okay, in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to NTR Radio. So this episode we're talking controversy.
Controversy. Yeah. Like us never being on time.
Yeah.
It's totally 9/11 related. You know, the monitor lizard people are after us. I don't know. That's a little more Alex Jones territory.
Yeah, well that's more like conspiracy theory than
theory.
Controversy.
We're talking more along the lines of, hey, Kodama no G-Con got licensed.
Bingo.
You know. Very good, very good.
There was a pretty controversial thing that popped up mostly on Twitter quite recently. I got it went in on.
Is this what I'm thinking?
The fan service article?
Yeah, that I'm not gonna say their name. I'm just gonna say it rhymes with the hairy poo.
Yeah, which is basically what they amount to. So yeah, we're not gonna link to it because they would derive
revenue clicks
from that, and we don't want that. As a matter of fact, I have the archive link, so I'll give people that.
Yeah, because we do not want to support. If you want to read it and see how stupid it is, that's fine. But
yeah.
If you don't want to give them support or revenue clicks and crap like that, yeah.
Yeah. So the archive link just went out in the IRC.
Uh,
So basically, it's an article basically complaining about fan service.
I know you've seen that for the millionth time out there, listeners.
Yeah, it's nothing we haven't seen before.
But this one has an extra special level of dumb encoded in it.
Yeah, so number one, they dropped Gamergate and the Ghostbusters thing, complete non sequitur. But that's not even what I'm concerned about.
When your movie sucks and it don't sell good, who you gonna blame? Man!
Patriarchy.
Yeah.
すごい
But here's one thing. Here's what I'm talking about with this article. So part of it here's step 2: send a message with money. And the gist of it goes down to, hey, instead of giving your money to fan service stuff, give it to other stuff. And so
That's fine. We'll be there to pick up the slack.
Yeah, like we always are. Here, my thing is, understand that these are people who are okay. They do this regularly, with spending $100 on pillowcases.
Mine only cost $80, but the point still stands.
Yeah, the point.
Yeah, if you're buying like Japanese pillowcases, those are at least 100. Official Dockies, yeah.
People who are a-okay with spending over $100.
I know I'm buying $50 Figmas at this point.
So on a hunk of shaped plastic to put on the desk and do nothing. So, fine if you want to try and outspend those people. More power to you.
Be my guest,
but
not only are you not going to, but if you tried, you would put yourself in bankruptcy.
Yeah.
And your place you work for as well.
Yeah. Here's the thing. You can't outspend passion with like negativity.
Well, it almost reminds me of people that like want to bitch about football and tell people to stop spending money on football merch.
Yeah, exactly. It's not gonna happen.
No, yeah. Well, me and my friends aren't going to do that. Okay, and you are.
Exactly.
How much did you spend before? Negligible amount. Okay, then see ya.
So even looking at how much more merchandise is available for those kind of shows than for other kinds of shows that cater to a Western anime demographic that is a lot less inclined to spend $200 on an anime figure.
When's the last time you've seen a Spike Spiegel Chia Pet? You know that would totally be awesome, though. Because of that hair.
Yeah, if the hair grows like that, I might get it.
Yes, see, you see where I'm going with that.
But that's exactly the thing. It's like, don't go ahead and try. Please try. Please give more money into this industry in any way that you want to. But if you're coming at it from this frame of we're going to disincentivize people from making fan service anime by outspending the fan service fans, number one, you're not going to do it. Number two, it's not going to really change anything in your favor.
No, I mean, which goes into the other point. Japan usually does not really care about what external sources of income are doing.
Well, I mean, here's the thing: they're starting to.
Well, they are.
But even if they did start to really care, what are they going to care about? Where's their money coming from? And we got a whole bunch of people over here who are real big up on, I want to buy this quarter scale $200-something figure here because it looks nice. And there's a whole lot of
as opposed to
people who just look at this stuff through a certain lens, just only consume certain stuff, and don't really buy a whole lot of ancillary merchandise like that.
They're doing
One, because it isn't available.
Figma. They're doing One Punch Man Figma now. We'll see how.
Certainly. We'll see how they do compared to the complete wealth of.
We'll see how those do compared to
Bishojo
how
figures
many.
out here.
Yeah, we'll see how well that does compared to, I don't know, a cast of Rias Grimory.
Yeah, exactly. But that was my big thing. Is like, do you really think you're gonna outspend these people?
Oh, I mean, it's the same idea of people that think they can win a battle of attrition with gamers.
Yeah, no, it's not gonna happen.
It's not gonna happen. These are people. Okay, I mean,
These are people who win, like winning things.
are primed to win is the MO.
Yeah, exactly.
I also like they used in that article, new game.
Oh yeah, they did
yeah.
actually. Which whatever. It really doesn't matter
It's so
what
mild. It's like so mild of like how do you get like
That's like the least offensive show out right now.
they maybe they didn't want to show anything that would trigger their audience.
it's like old panties. It's like
Yes, that wasn't a thing in the 80s or
Compared to the first shot of Ataraxia, which anyone who's also watched that show knows what I'm talking about.
or the great opening shot from Vivid Butts.
Oh yeah.
The sun rises and glistens on an ass.
How about the opening shot for Bakemonogatari? It literally is a panty shot.
Or Ica, where it looks like someone's being eaten out.
So, and number two, they don't even know anything about anime.
No, they don't. No.
It's clickbait. But the point is, though, that's the first thing I would point out is with clickbait, don't give them clicks, don't give them revenue, because no matter what, they win if you do. Because they'll write anything to get them. Hello?
Yeah.
I'm halfway on that. I think there's some value in just knowing this stuff is out there to be able to take it down.
Well, yeah, but you don't have to go to their thing. You can go through a how do I want to word this?
Through something like the archive site.
Yeah, or something like that.
Yeah. One last thing with this thing. Yeah, they have a fan service survey here.
We should totally bomb that.
Well, according to their rules, we can't, because here's the first thing that it says here. Please only answer these questions if you find fan service off-putting. If you don't mind or even enjoy fan service, this survey is not for you.
Oh, gee, how...
Well, gee.
Yeah, you're going to get some real valuable data off of that.
That's just like a giant fucking checkbox. Vote yes for Stalin.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that's... again, that's a go-to dictator, but...
According to this publication, nobody who actually enjoys fan service exists.
Well, they do, but their opinion doesn't matter.
Of course.
Which tells you a lot about who you're dealing with. Because in the real world, your opinion will never matter either. Not to them.
Of course not.
So yeah, this was the latest. I mean, again, we've seen these things forever, and it's the same tired old bullshit. Most of it's very... It just reeks of trying to poke at anything,
Yeah.
Like, hey, we're going to bitch about sports, we're going to bitch about anything that nerds or people are into.
Oh, wow. So I made the mistake of looking at the comments section. This one's egregious. Much like video games, I find the issue I find with fan service of this type, i.e. blatant over-sexualization, is not that it exists, but that it's in everything and not relegated to a poorly lit dusty corner with other prurient materials.
Yes.
We don't want it to not exist, we just don't want anyone to ever see it or interact with it.
Yeah, we
These
only
people don't matter.
yeah,
Like it don't matter.
we only want the guys in the creepy trench coats to be able to get this stuff in
exactly.
clandestine, places.
In windowless fans.
Yeah, we want this to be some kind of fly-by-night stuff that
Some
isn't
kind of like
associated with
drug deal level thing.
Yeah, some trench coat,
If you got the
shades
stuff,
at
man.
night stuff where they're passing envelopes and stuff, and just not interacting with the rest of this medium that I desperately want to turn into a genre.
It's funny.
That's ridiculous.
Oh,
It's funny. It's funny because, in all the time that people have bitched about this stuff, all these sites end up disappearing, but it does not.
Yeah.
Here's a little
you can't
secret.
Fight passion with dispassion.
Here's a little secret. Trying to legislate morality is always nasty.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to media.
The new Puritans, as people say.
Pretty much. I mean,
that's what people say about these type of people.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's no way there's not some prudeness going on.
It just doesn't have, religion.
It doesn't have religious roots.
Yeah.
Or at least that's not where it's coming from in this instance.
Right.
Now it's
Now it's coming from a very PC, a very it's through a fixed ideological lens, but it's not religious.
Progressive.
Yes, thank you. Pretty much, it's very much through a far left kind of mentality. It's interesting. Again, horseshoe theory, I guess. It's interesting how the further left and right you go, they have a lot of similarities. Like
It's
that.
the horseshoe effect.
Yeah, I mean, like, they believe a lot of the same things, but for different reasons. And they would never admit to this, of course.
Well, of course not.
But it's intriguing to me because I'll just come out and say it. I mean, I saw a lot of this kind of stupid moral panic shit. I mean, I lived through the Mortal Kombat scare.
Same here.
And through Night Trap and all this other shit.
Yep, and also, and particularly for me, like, watching Power Rangers is bad because it has violence.
When I was a little kid, yeah.
Yeah.
And they also had the,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we went through the 80s, the wonderful PSA announcements.
Well, that had to do with, it might take too long to explain why they did that, but basically because of the whole deregulation by Reagan of cartoons designed to sell toys. That was basically put in there.
I know, and I totally was just redundant. I said PSA announcement. That's like ATM machine.
Yeah, basically they were put in there as like artificial educational entertainment. So it's like, look, see, now the show's educational.
Yeah, sure it is.
It has nothing to do with the rest of the episode.
So what did G.I. Joe teach us? Like, did it just come across as American propaganda? It's just like, and I love that Cobra is an acronym, and it's like they came up with the name and then just tried to make, like, let's make it an acronym.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure it's stuff like Mask was probably like that too.
Oh, Mask was like that too.
But with Cobra, it's funny because it's not really coherent. It's just what they stand for, like corruption, and so forth. It's not like scuba or
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna have to move on to the next articles because I'm reading these comments and they're just the most nonsensical.
Any good ones
though?
Knowing
anything about here's
any
one
good ones we can make fun of?
The problem is and was the fault of the otaku demographic. They're the ones willing to spend their parents' money on all the merchandise. T-shirts, body pillows, plushies, videos, every kind of collectible, etc., etc. So more and more studios geared their content toward that demographic, and the whole industry has been on a downward spiral as everyone races to the bottom to produce the cheapest series with the highest fan service appeal. So yeah, no wonder anime fandoms are populated with the worst kind of men, for whom the only tolerable women are the animated ones that act like pets and infants. That's what they've been spoon-fed. Again and again, I hear anime fans defending it, saying it's always been like that, and that there are still good shows, but this isn't true. Moe blobs didn't really begin appearing until after Evangelion. The horrible irony in the creator wanting to critique the appeal of moe characters unintentionally spawned an even bigger demand for it. And this trend has deprived us of potentially excellent series, simply because the otaku demand dictates what studios make. Occasionally something original and intelligent pops up, but we are definitely in the anime dark age. Even leading figures like Hayao Miyazaki have remarked several times that the good times have ended. Fan service has destroyed the industry.
Nuclear launch detected.
The way you read that, I could just see somebody like with their thumb up their ass. Fucking men, man. Fucking men.
Capitalism is bad.
Let's castrate them.
People buying what they like is bad, and the market responding is bad.
Oh yeah, by the way, once again, complete incorrect perspective on otaku, but because it feeds into their narrative, they're fine with being wrong. They're fine with lying to people.
Oh sure.
No, they're just otaku. They're a bunch of disgusting men who watch cartoons I don't like, so they don't matter.
I also like the fact that they blamed Evangelion for this.
Yeah.
Like Evangelion. Like I don't know, not a lot of moe in that, really.
No, not really.
It's not even I don't even know where they got that from.
To be fair, moe is subjective, so it doesn't
well,
really
yeah.
matter.
It's the merchandise.
Moe isn't in anything.
But-
You find moe in characters, but this idiot doesn't really understand that because they're on a moral crusade against fan service because they don't like it, but they can't just not like something. They have to find a way that it's deficient, so they can derive superiority from not liking that.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, I mean, the only really, I mean, the quote-unquote moe blob traits, I would not trace those back to Evangelion.
They go much further back.
Not only are they go
Much
back
further
further
back.
than that, but you can do better than that if you were going to make it an assault upon it.
Real talk.
First off, why didn't you go for the easy hanging fruit here, which is like Haruhi and stuff like that, which is what every fucking body does.
Yeah, but was it Lucky Star invented moe or K-On invented moe?
Well, it's the idea of this moe boom, which is aligns somewhere between 2003 and 2008.
Yep.
That everyone agrees happened, but nobody can agree when it happened. So I'm questioning if it actually happened in the way that is portrayed, or if this was just a gradual thing of certain traits that were less prominent in the 70s and 80s becoming more prominent in other eras. And to be fair, this isn't the first time it's happened, but nobody remembers anything from all those mid-level shows from the late 90s and early 2000s. Nobody remembers any of that shit.
No.
Still happened. Two Hearts still happened.
Definitely
Mabaraho
watch
still
it.
happened.
Definitely in watching Too Hard would retroactively feels like, man, I've seen this stuff so many times, but then I have to remember myself. Probably a lot of the stuff was new-ish when it came out.
Yeah.
Well,
And even it wasn't even new. It was just, hey, we're doing another anime full of cute girls. This is like, let's go back to, I don't know, Urusei Yatsura.
Or Creamy Mommy, or
Creamy Mommy.
or even Cutie Honey.
Cutie Honey. Ranma 1/2. Meizen Naikoku. Oh, here's all these anime that are just filled with cute girls. But moe is new.
Kimagure
The
Orange
moe
Road.
boom.
That's a
The moe boom happened in 2004. when some anime nobody even watches anymore came out, but everyone's got to agree with it because old anime is supposed to be sacred. It's the new stuff we can shit on.
I bet half these people don't even watch that either.
No, because then they complain it's all robots.
Yeah, I mean, and I love everybody always goes for Miyazaki whenever they want.
Yeah, how Miyazaki is not indicative of most. I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry.
Doesn't
It's not.
he not even consider his works anime?
No, he does not.
No, he hates the anime industry. He hates the
Yeah, so he's a biased source, but then again,
but of course they love him because he's one of those really ridiculous Greenpeace
he's
psychopaths.
He's totally like Marxist. I think he identifies as socialist, but he's like really like almost Marxist level.
Given that most of those ideas actually funnel from all that.
Yeah. I mean, the man said he wishes like Japan would like sink in the ocean.
Only if he's in it. Only if he's still on it. Right?
Yeah, but yeah, that's my whole thing. So
not only that, but his own kid hates him.
No, I think it was the other way around. He hates his kids. I think that's what.
Yeah. Okay.
I wouldn't be surprised if the feeling was just mutual.
Well, that's also very feminist, isn't it?
I think I also heard him say like, I make anime for like little girls or something, for like 10-year-old girls.
Yes.
That's my audience. It's like, nothing suspicious about that. Have a seat here, Miyazaki. Have a seat. What are you doing here? What are you doing here?
Come on, he's in line to cosplay as the Colonel.
I just made some anime. What are you doing here?
No. I'd say some of the fans of this stuff are more likely to be in that scenario.
I know, but I just imagine like Chris Hansen like just it's like, what are you doing here?
Yeah. Needless to say, that's the other reason he's the go-to guy, because he is a very outspoken feminist.
Mm.
And
really, I feel like the reason he's the go-to guy is because everyone's seen one of Miyazaki's works.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like Disney's got them over here, so everyone's at least seen something Miyazaki's done. So
right, but I'm saying why these specific type of publications go to him. Because, well, let's not kid ourselves what kind of allegiances these people have.
Well, to be fair, this isn't even the publication. This is a commentator. This is one of the commentators. So
but when you know what I'm saying, though.
I don't really believe these people have gotten deep enough into the medium to know what any of the crazy shit that Miyazaki said.
No. Well, no. Okay.
I think the reason these people cite Miyazaki all the time is because he is the prominent anime director, even though he doesn't consider his own works anime. It's animation from Japan, so it's anime.
Well, no, what I was going to say, though, is in academic circles, he's well known.
Once again, how many
film
academic
studies and things like that?
Well, no, how many academic circles know about Akiyuki Shimbo, though?
Probably not too many.
Exactly. So I don't think it's entirely predicated on his politics. I think it's more predicated on the fact that he's just the only one anyone knows.
These people don't even know about Go Nagai.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which is really, really unnerving if you're actually a fan of this stuff.
That always I understand, but at the same time I don't. Like I know why, but I don't. If that makes sense.
I don't know. Go ahead and tell me if I'm wrong about this, but in my opinion, if you're into something like this, And the more you're into it, the more likely you are to actually kind of fish around.
It's that idea of the three tiers. The further you get into this medium, the more you're gonna search for perspective.
Well, not even just that, but from I have a background in history, so I tend to look at things from a context, almost like a timeline, you know.
Right.
And you know, someone like that would be a legitimate big, like, if it was, I don't know, if it was a straight line and there was nodes on it representing things, he would be one of those nodes.
Right. I get what you're saying.
And it seems to me like just almost insane that you would hop past such an obvious boom right there. But
it's the idea that there are people out here who are at tier 1, but really think they're at tier 3, when really they're at tier 1. Really, they are fans of some works that happen to be anime, but they think they're Mr. or Mrs. Anime. They think they're I know about this medium because I've watched some Miyazaki works, I've watched some works here, that I've watched Akira, and so on and so forth. But I don't really know, like, I don't really know
the anime encyclopedia, basically.
Basically, I don't really know about anything about the directors of 90% of this stuff, except the stuff I watched by Miyazaki. I don't really know about how any of this stuff is made, what was going on during the creation of any of this stuff. I don't really know about the various works that are self-referential within the anime industry and within the anime fandom in Japan, and how those compare and contrast with how that's going on in real life. I don't know any of that stuff, but it's like it's an unknown unknown. They don't know that there is this stuff out here to know, so they just think they know everything, when really the perspective should be consider that you might suck and constantly be learning about stuff so you can stop sucking.
I don't know. I still got the really hilarious visual of, since you said unknown unknowns, of fucking who was that? Rumsfeld?
Donald Rumsfeld.
It was Rumsfeld.
Former Secretary of Defense Donald Rumsfeld.
Yes. They're unknown unknowns. I know what he means, but it does sound really weird.
I thought that was real poignant. That's just the scope of knowledge. There's stuff you know. There's stuff you know you don't know. And there's stuff you don't know you don't know.
Yeah, and that's
gonna trip you up.
And that's the stuff that's going to cause the problems.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah.
Anyway, next controversy. Anyone got another one? Because I have another one if we don't have another one.
Oh, I've got a couple.
I'm fucking speaking this one.
Again, I still laugh at the faux outrage we get with the endings with a lot of things. And the girlfriend actually pointed out at one point that, has there ever been an anime ending that everybody was happy with? And I was like, no.
No.
I can't name a single one.
I think people like the ending for K-On!
Maybe if they like K-On!
That's true. Okay, I got one, and it's a recent one. The ending to Kuma Miko was pretty controversial. Basically, okay, I know you haven't watched the show, but it was like, you know, the Miko girl, she was living in the country part of Japan, and lives with her bear friend. She's like the shrine maiden. And the whole show was basically about her trying to get into the city because she wanted to go to school in the city, and you know she has like extreme social anxiety because she doesn't understand, you know, city life that well.
Right.
Well, okay, so the controversy was it kind of deterred off from like what the manga was, and the way the anime. Well, first off, the anime itself, a lot of people when the show was airing called it like bullying, It was like, oh, it's bullying this poor girl because of, like, like I said, her social anxiety just of, like, in public and all that. Trying so hard to, like, understand the modern world. And one review called it gaslighting.
Wow.
I
don't even understand where that fits in context.
So basically the show ended where it was basically like her trying to be an idol, but she was failing, and then like basically like it's ended with like her not wanting to go out, like just staying in where she is and as a shrine man, and the bear was like, the bear, because apparently that's what the bear wanted all along, and that's not from the manga, and people think it was like deliberate sabotage by like the director or something.
Okay.
So the entire premise is she wants to go to the city, but in the end she decides, you know what, my country life is fine here.
Exactly.
Okay. So
basically, long story short, she like you could say infantilized.
Well, that's probably what people are thinking. I really don't think that's the thing they were going for.
No, actually, I think that was what they were going for in the end.
Stay infantilized.
Kind of, a little bit.
Okay.
Because a lot of people did not like this ending.
That's what I'm going off of. A lot of people didn't like the ending. From my perspective, if I were to infer something about that, it would be that the whole stay infantilized sort of thing. But looking at that, hearing what that ending is, I feel like the way I would interpret that is there's no real... It's okay to enjoy your life as it is, if that makes any sense at all. There's no reason to overextend yourself and want to go do this big huge thing because everyone else is doing it.
Because it was like, well, it was kind of like, it's like, oh, you don't have to go to high school in the city or all that or whatever. I think that's what kind of people were really pissed about.
Well, you don't. It's like it's feeding into the narrative of a grand narrative of life, and people get mad when you don't do that.
Right, yeah.
Also, in the IRC, the status quo is good. That's another thing. There's a whole lot of people who think that status quo just as it exists. Anything that is status quo is bad.
And here's the thing, like, even the manga author said, I didn't approve of this ending. So, I think... What were you going to say, Keiko?
I was going to say, another thing with endings that I find intriguing is you get the ones that, this differentiated from the manga, and so they hate it.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, that's common. Or it did something just completely original, and then they hate it. Or another thing that, and the ones that get me more than even those are the faux outrage endings. Are the ones where something was obvious a mile away, but people still act enraged about it.
The Ore emo ending.
Basically, yeah. It is the poster boy for what I'm talking about. It's like, and the worst were the people getting mad that didn't like the show. that was the best shit. The people who weren't even watching the show, that just got, like, were inserted themselves into the conversation to get pissy about it. That lost me. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm with you.
It's like, this show, It's like, wait a minute, you weren't watching this show. You said you hated this crap.
Number two, if you're surprised about that ending,
look at the fucking title.
There's something wrong. There's something wrong with your brain.
I mean, I don't know. Like,
Oh, I know an ending people like. Monica. Monica.
Bible Black.
Yeah, Bible.
I know I did.
Drawn Girl in the RC brings up the controversy over Clannad's ending.
We would talk a little more about that, but I don't think we can without giving away spoilers.
I already know how it ends.
I'm talking about the people
Just
listening.
put the
Oh, the
audience.
people listening? Okay.
The whole thing is that's VN accurate. First of all. Second of all, I don't really get the outrage. It's established that this is sort of there's a lot of magical realism. There's sort of a realistic but fantastical world.
Yeah, just like Air and most other things Key have
Yeah,
done.
exactly. And it's not really a stretch that sort of thing would happen at the end of Clannad. But I feel like some people, this is especially in the Western fan base, I don't see a whole lot of this coming out of Japan. I feel like some people just really wanted a bad ending to that show.
I mean, again, let's look at it almost from a genre perspective. When it's sci-fi, you get the complaints that they didn't understand the ending.
Oh, that's like
Evangelion.
Evangelion, a bunch of other things, which in most cases,
I'm going to go off on Evangelion.
Okay.
If you don't know what's going on in Evangelion,
you weren't paying attention.
You need to pay attention. Evangelion is a remarkably straightforward anime for how much people complain about it being being so confusing and being so.
Nah, most of that's background dressing.
Reconquista. That's another one that people had a problem with.
Reconquista, I don't get it. Pay attention, and
that's every
you'll understand.
Tomino show. When they say, I didn't
to an extent. I mean,
every fucking Tomino show is like that. That's just the man's the way he does.
It just makes me think the people watching have ADD or something. You know, that they can't pay attention long enough to take in what they're being shown
I think
and
people
told.
have this notion.
I think to a certain extent, people expect to watch something one run through, watch something really complex one run through, and get everything,
and just be beaten upside the head with it.
And what do you want a complex anime or not? Because these are two diametrically opposed viewpoints, wanting a complex anime, but also wanting to get everything the first run through. Watch it multiple times. I've seen Ava like 8 times.
Wait. I think it's the balance of people don't. If the show's too complex and they feel almost like a sort of insulted that they don't get it. Like, why don't I get this show? Even if the show doesn't.
Certainly, it could be.
This notion that the show has to explain all the details. The other thing is when a show isn't like a deep narrative that does, that doesn't really have things that it needs to explain, like most Yashike shows, and then they complain like the show is too simple.
Well, this brings up another good point.
Wait, even on some of these moe shows, the narrative ends up being more complex than the art style would let on. But
right.
They don't acknowledge that, because this is something that happened with Girls in Panzer. When the first episode came out, and I didn't quite understand this. A whole lot of people were really complaining about main character being like press ganged into joining the tank club.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
But then it reveals later on in the show that there's actually reason for that, and when student council president said, "Oh, well, you might not be going to the school anymore if you're going to the tank club." That was accurate, but it was inferring something different, and I feel like that was a really clever point that a lot of people missed, because they expected it to be some kind of simple moe show when they watched the first episode, judging by the art style and all that, and they didn't realize that it was capable of doing something narrative like that.
Well, okay, enough with the sci-fi and that. Another thing, and this is guaranteed, just guaranteed to cause issues, and that's the harem anime.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And nobody's happy with these endings for plethora of reasons. One, either nothing happens and main character does not end up with anybody.
Yep.
The people bitch about that because, well, they feel it's too open-ended and so forth. Two, they do pick someone and then they're really pissed off because they didn't like that character.
Yeah, it's my problem with Shuffle.
Really?
Well, my problem with Shuffle is less that I didn't like the character that the main character picked. Is that the main character didn't pick my favorite character.
Well, there
they
you go.
Screwed her over.
Right. Well, but the point is, now I'll go on record and say I actually prefer the latter of those two, just because I hate the open ending ones. I hate them. Yeah, those bother me.
It's just kind of like, what was this whole show leading up to?
Yeah, it just feels kind of like they pulled a rug out from under you a little bit, and just kind of like, haha,
So yeah, that's why I'm a big fan of those arc-based shows or those branching shows.
That's interesting that they started doing that after a while. I mean, obviously that didn't show up like concurrently with that.
Right.
But after a while, at some point, I don't know which, but I know Yasuga no Sora was one that did that.
Yasuga no Sora did that. Amigami SS did that. Fotokano did that.
And that seems to be probably a little bit better of a way about it.
Yeah.
In my opinion. I think so.
Kimmy Kiss just had it where the two male characters were split as two different male characters.
And then, of course, you have the Kiss XS or Kiss Sis, if you like. You have the scenario where it's clearly between his two sisters there, and but there's other girls they throw in there just because.
Right.
Going double uranium, son. That was terrible.
Going platinum.
Going double uranium, son.
Uranium.
We banging girls with no rubbers.
I stabbed dude in the neck with a butter knife, fisticuffs, just cause.
Just cause. Yes. Now that we went on our little Dave Chappelle detour.
But yeah, I really, really hope that the arc-based or branching style of harem show takes off, because I think it
works better.
I really don't want to watch another Shuffle. I really don't. That was too painful for me.
Yeah. See, it's hilarious because Anubis's favorite character, we're not gonna say because we don't want to spoil, but Anubis's favorite character obviously didn't get picked. Whereas mine did.
Over.
So of course I'm happy with it. He's just like growling at me and shit. It's like, fuck you, man.
It's like, fuck you. Homegirl tries everything. Like,
so hard. It's painful to watch. It is.
Gets sexually aggressive with the dude, and he's just like, nope.
Notice how they never ever picked the tomboy character.
No comment.
Yeah.
You're missing something big time when you say that.
Or they never go with like the token loli.
No, the token loli one I think is there more for comic relief most of the time. Even in Shuffle, that was kind of true.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, there's a great scene with that where his asshole what was his name?
I don't remember.
You know who I'm talking about, though, right?
The
dude with the glasses was really haughty.
Yeah, the main character's friend character.
Yeah, I can't think of the guy's name for the life of me. It starts with an I. I know that. In any case, he makes some really amusing commentary about when he sees him with the lowly character.
I remember the scene you're talking about.
Yes. Oh, so that's what you're into. It's just like, oh, hell no. The whole thing's pretty funny. But no, any kind of harem / or even things that are based off of VNs and stuff that have kind of these routes, as it were. When those are that was one of the big problems when they made those over to anime.
Right.
Because they would try to be as neutral as possible, or him getting close to one and then they would get close to another one in a different episode.
Well, yeah,
Isn't that like
to a certain extent, it'd be like they do the arc thing, but it'd still be serial. So they do. We're gonna do. Clannad did this. We're gonna do this part of this character's arc, and then we're gonna do this part, but it never resolves that way because we're still going after one character.
Right. And to be fair, I don't think that's a horrible way to approach it.
I think that's perfectly reasonable.
A legit way to do it.
I just feel and to a certain extent that works a lot more for big overarching stuff like Clannad, where there's obviously a main route and a main girl.
Right.
But there's also these other endings with these other characters. I feel like the Amagami SS, Photokano, Yusuga no Sora style works better with stuff that's just like, hey, pick a girl and get with her.
Unless, of course, you're playing School Days, because
School Days. There's only one right answer in School Days.
Yeah, there's only one right answer in School Days. I think there's scientific proof on that one.
I think I was gonna say I think that's like the problem with what I hear about like anytime they do the Fate anime.
I hear so much bitching from the Fate fan base about stuff, like just one thing after another. You know, nobody seems to be happy. Again, not really fully in kind of immersed in that.
Yeah.
Right.
So I don't really know what they're talking about. I'm just gonna flat out be honest about it. But the thing is I hear it. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm so not into Fate. Like I tried playing the game once and it was okay, but I fell off of it with like
Villainous is like giving you a stern look.
It's like, to be fair, I fell off with it like every other visual novel I've played except for Valhalla. So it's another visual novel to me, but the difference is I have no real intention of finishing it.
Okay, we should probably get off to some other controversy stuff here instead of just completely bitching about endings. See, we couldn't even get past bitching about it ourselves.
Yeah.
You want
She's
to talk
right.
about the prison school thing?
All right, let's talk about the prison school thing.
That is more of a minor one, but okay.
Not a minor one to me. A couple weeks ago, I was talking with the Geeky Panda, and we were talking about how stuff like the Dead or Alive Extreme thing happened. Where the Japanese industry saw that there's all this bullcrap going on in the American gaming community. Said, you know what, it might not be a good idea to port this stuff over into that environment, and somehow that translated to me that like
it's not profitable.
Well, no, to long story short, we got into the prison school thing, and I mentioned that to him, and he wasn't familiar with it. So I launched into this. Must have taken up like a half hour of his
diatribe,
just ranting about all this really bullcrap thing that shouldn't have happened.
It was completely there was no reason for it.
Yeah. So long story short, in an episode of Prison School, they were doing Funimation was doing the simulcast dub for Prison School, and in one episode, one character remarks to another character about, "Are you one of those
Gamergate creep?
One of those Gamergate creep shows?" That's the exact quote. Nothing that was said to any similarity to that in the Japanese track. So judging by that, what happened was someone took a work they didn't make and changed it for no reason other than to take a cheap shot at some people they don't like.
And they got called out on it.
They got called out on it, and
their behavior was absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, they got called out on it. They clapped back. Funimation didn't address it, and as a result, they're on notice.
And basically, they just doubled down. I mean, really, that's what they did.
Yeah.
Not Funimation.
Well, yeah.
They just completely they just completely disappeared.
They barely
even acknowledge it hardly. Yeah.
But it's like, I understand. I get it. Your job
that was just a PR issue right there.
Well, it's not even a PR issue.
No, I'm saying that's why they didn't answer it.
What? Like, you can't rein in your people when they're deliberately disrespecting works that they didn't make?
I have no creative,
Actually, they were. If I'm not mistaken, they were.
Think they're being creative.
If I'm not mistaken, they were actually a musician.
Mm.
So I think in this case they wanted to be creative in a way that they weren't supposed to.
Exactly.
Stick to making music. I don't give a fuck about your music, but don't.
Yeah.
You didn't make Prison School. You didn't write the script for Prison School. Your job isn't to change stuff around in the script for Prison School. Your job is to make it so I'm watching Prison School basically in the same way that Japanese people who watch Prison School watch Prison School. That's your job. I'm not supposed to know you exist. I'm not supposed to know your name unless I look in the credits for your name. And I'm sorry if that's a shot to the ego, but if that's the case, then maybe doing this script writing localization thing isn't for you, because the job is to be invisible if that's the case. Don't rewrite, and that's the thing that gets the most. It's like, don't take something someone else made and then mix it around to make fun of people you don't like. That's classless. It's childish. That's completely unprofessional. And this person put the organization he works for in jeopardy. And if I was the organization that person works for, I would take steps to make sure it doesn't happen again, number one. And number two, failing that person would be terminated. Because look at how many people went at Funimation after this and said, either you're on notice, or two, I'm just not going to buy any of your products ever again.
Well, the thing was, it was making a political statement when there wasn't one there.
There wasn't a political statement there, and now after seeing the individual clap back, we know it was his personal opinion of some people on the internet that he doesn't like. So, under what circumstances are you permitted to do that in any industry? Oh, I'm gonna use something someone else made as my platform to down on some people I dislike, to down on some people who I just they hold different opinions on video games than I do. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use a work of art that a whole lot of people put blood, sweat, and tears into, put long nights into, got little pay for. I'm gonna use that as my platform because me having a platform is more important than this anime. So
well, yeah,
just by that, if I was in charge of an anime licensing firm, that person would be terminated because they don't care about what we're doing.
Well, and I think I think you'll remember this. I don't know if you saw this or not, but in the fallout from that, one of the things that actually occurred was, and this is paraphrasing because obviously this was a good while ago.
Right.
But they basically said, oh, it would figure fans of basically of a show like this would get mad about something like that.
Yeah.
Basically pointing out that they themselves didn't like the show and thought it was crap.
Yeah, go fuck yourself. If that's your perspective. Cool that you don't like the show.
Do you remember that?
That's A-okay. Oh, I remember that vividly.
Because it was just like, it's like, he just wanted to say it's a bunch of fat neckbeards that watch this shit anyway.
Of course.
They were just itching to say it.
That's his perspective on Gamergate people too. So he doesn't like those people, and just stands to reason that it's a fan service anime. We just spent that amount of time talking about people complaining about fan service anime with the same perspective. It's just a bunch of men who are. What was it? What was the stereotype I wrote in that article? It's like fat, right wing, neckbeard, often overweight, always male. It's always men. They're always this.
Basically the fedora meme.
Basically, and it's like I don't like these people, so these people don't matter to me, and it's
the right-wing Moe fan.
It's like, again, Cool in the Gang that he doesn't like those people. That's fine, but then why is Funimation employing him when he has expressed an out-and-out disdain for their fan base?
Your guess is as good as mine.
Maybe Funimation's just ineffectual and doesn't care. Maybe they care as little about anime as he cares about anime.
I don't know, but
which is why they're on notice. So, which is why I've been saying for a while, I'm waiting for that Prison School release, because if they keep that line in there,
I'll definitely keep you.
I'm going to have to do a lot of soul searching before I ever buy another Funimation release ever again. Because if they keep that line in there, that just tells me they don't care about me as a customer. Because when I watch anime, I would like to watch it in as close to the Japanese release as possible, as close as to how it was originally made as I can. And number two, they don't care about the medium they're working in. And number three, and this is probably the most egregious, they don't care about the people whose artwork they're licensing, localizing, and distributing to the good people of the United States for consumption. They don't care about any of that. They just... honestly, I'd question what they care about at that point, because if that's the case, why are you even in this industry? There's no reason for that. There's no reason any of this shit should have happened, and if that dub remains the way it is, I'm gonna have a lot of questions, and it's very, very likely I won't buy another Funimation release ever again, because that's ridiculous. How do you get that in your mind that that's a good idea, and how do the people above that person get it in their mind that this is good to have around in the organization? People who just don't care about the medium, don't care about the art form, don't care about the people who consume it over here. They just care about inserting their personal agenda into something they had no hand in making.
Heat level critical.
There you go.
You didn't make the shit. You have no right to change it. No right. Translate it, make it understandable in English. That's your job. Other than that, you don't exist. And if that's a cut to the ego, tough. Do your job. It's the do your job principle. Understood that everyone has their own personal hang-ups within their life and whatnot. Understood. But do your job. Everyone is better served if you just do their job. If you can't do your job, then you should have your job.
And there you go. Okay, tensions are getting a little high.
I'm sorry. This should be a never event.
The whole thing was ridiculous.
I thought we were done with substantial changes in dub tracks back when we were doing Ghost Stories and Samurai Pizza Cats and Angel Cop. I thought that was an era that was past. Apparently that the answer to that question is no, and apparently Funimation is at the vanguard of this reactionary movement where we're moving back to let's just do whatever we want in the dub because no one cares. If people want accuracy to the script, they can just watch the sub. That's not the purpose of a dub. Just is not. It's not.
Okay. Other ideas. That are very into the. I love the screaming over Kodomo no Jikan.
Oh, okay.
That was so hilarious.
Like especially when it crossed that line.
I remember one tweet saying, "The creeps have officially won."
Aha.
I didn't see that one. But, yeah.
Yes, here we go. Here, I found it. Fuck. The creeps won. They're going to get their precious lolly manga. Better hope digital manga publishing doesn't die in the meantime.
Yeah, I'm sure that's a problem.
Salt.
Yeah, exactly.
The salt is palpable.
Yeah, I mean,
you're gonna get a heart attack from all this sodium.
Yeah, I was just going to say, like, that's like bathing in the McDonald's fryer salt. It's good times. But another thing that I thought was funny, and this wasn't really a controversy of any kind, but I just thought the response to it was interesting. The negative response to Shimoneta.
Oh, yeah.
Like, first off, there were some people that really thought that was some kind of propaganda.
I remember one A&N reviewer specifically calling it propaganda.
Which is funny to me, which it is propaganda.
Propaganda is one of those words I really hate.
Because it has a negative connotation to it.
And it's only ever used for its negative connotation.
Contact collection is right-wing propaganda.
Well, there's this entire thing with Contact Collection and Girls in Panzer and Opate and Strike Witches, the entire Moe military aesthetic and all the series related with that are militarist propaganda.
Which one thing that I find funny about that would be if just somebody says, "Well, I'm in the military, fucker, I love it." I don't give a shit if you don't like it, don't watch it. It's like you don't fucking watch I don't know, Band of Brothers if you're not into that crap. Why would you try to make it into some kind of statement when it's really not supposed to be?
Well, again, they don't like it, so they have to portray it as deficient.
Mm-hmm.
Or, moreover, they don't necessarily like the juxtaposition of Moe and military, so they have to find some way to portray that as deficient in order to reconcile within themselves and not liking it. Because they can't just not like stuff. It has to be bad in order for them to not like it. Because everything I like is good, and everything good I must like.
Okay.
Strike Witches itself was controversial.
It was. Now that you mention it, it kind of was, because I remember distinctly seeing articles written up about it specifically that were really like. First off, some of the like reviews or the what do you call them, seasonal kind of synopsis and things like that.
Yeah.
You would see some stuff like, oh, this looks really nice, but it's this crappy da 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 da. Or they got really offended on the behalf of veterans, which I found really interesting, considering that most of these people actually hate the military. Yeah, I'm sure you feel so damaged that some Nazi was portrayed as a girl without pants flying around.
Or the people who are really concerned about what Chuck Yeager thinks about strike witches.
Isn't he like the only one who's alive out of that bunch?
He's the only one out of the bunch who's still alive.
Yeah. I mean, and didn't he basically just like, I don't give a shit?
As far as I understand, Chuck Yeager's got better shit to do than to worry about some Japanese cartoon portraying him as a bunny girl with big titties.
I'm sure he's thinking, well, at least their tits were big.
Yeah, listen, if I was Chuck Yeager, I would be flattered. So that's no real. Listen, this dude broke the sound barrier. I'm pretty sure his circle of concerns is larger than some Studio Gonzo and Fumikade Shinada decided to make an anime girl based off of my exploits. If they made an anime girl based on my exploits, you know how flattered I would be? I don't have many exploits. It's being part of an anime podcast that fucks up all the time.
Yeah.
Being the president of an anime club for a few years.
That apparently has since gone to crap.
That once I left is kind of.
It kind of turned out like Iraq once we left. Was that too topical? Was that like too current events?
That was
excellent.
That was over the line, but it was also hilarious.
I just crossed a line, motherfucker. Well, you know what they said? I think it was Carlin who said humor. The idea in humor is to find out where the line is drawn and then deliberately stride past it.
Exactly.
Yeah. There you go. Anyway.
They should start a podcast based on NTR Radio. Where like every episode is a new problem.
Oh, yeah. That would be a hilarious webcomic. Like, cause every time it would be something else, and then there'd just be like some witty dialogue. You'd have like a group of, yeah. I've always wanted to make a webcomic.
I have, but I can't draw.
My drawing skills, and I don't have the equipment to even do it if I wanted to.
I kind of started one.
I could do the dialogue.
Never followed through on it. It looked like absolute garbage when it was made in MS Paint.
Okay.
But I kind of had the beginning, and I kind of had like an outline for it, but never followed through on it.
See, I could draw. I just don't do webcomics.
Yeah. The thing is, if I could get somebody that could draw and with backgrounds and knows how to use all that stuff a lot better than I do, I could more than happy just like be an idea guy, like pitch like I don't know, like one-liners or zingers or shit.
See,
anyway, so back to Iraq.
Back to Iraq. No, but yeah, that was. Here's a controversy that lasted for 3 days. Remember that the Moe Moe Dictators book.
Oh yeah.
I still want that thing. I'm not gonna lie. I'm just gonna say if any fans out there would like to send me a copy.
Listen, I'm getting into art books now. If I ever find that at a convention, I'm snapping it up.
Or maybe we should get like an NTR like PO box.
That can be arranged.
Yeah, I figured it could.
NTR Patreon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
P.O. Box for when you want to send us all your spare methus and parts and a Yase porn and.
But yeah, people were mad about it, and I don't get why.
Yeah.
So
Speaking of that book,
you're trivializing the horrible things these people did by turning them into anime, when really they didn't trivialize it at all. Like, each page has a full write-up on every horrible thing these people did, but it's all in Japanese, so nobody read it.
yeah. You know, I don't know. I think they're just mad that Hitler-san was a cute painter.
I feel like a lot of this stuff is just predicated on, like, a lot of this stuff being such a non-controversy as it is predicated on the people complaining about it not actually being able to properly consume the material because they don't understand the language. Which, to be fair, neither can I. But
you're not an idiot.
But I don't turn it into a huge controversy for no reason because I understand it and I'm not getting the full perspective on it.
I'm just gonna go all out and say that as far as that book is concerned, it's all about Pol Pot.
I am on board with there was one character that I saw and I was really into.
Pumpkin Pants Mount.
Omar al-Bashir. Yeah. The presidents of Sudan.
Yeah. Darfur coming to you.
And that's exactly what it is. Is this brown-skinned anime girl pointing to a map, pointing to the Darfur region of Sudan on a map with all these gold coins shower around her. Is hilarious.
And then don't forget the Stalin one where she's got the fucking pipe.
Yeah.
Because for those who don't know, for the history challenge, Uncle Joe really did like to, smoke the pipe. And you usually did see him with a pipe a lot of the time. And a lot of imagery.
And this Hitler one is an artist?
Well, he was an artist, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's what his original occupation was going to be.
Fidel Castro.
Fucking, isn't Gaddafi in there?
Yeah.
And what's their name? Like, it's the Polish guy to where it shows like their legs are on these two fucking chairs.
Yeah.
Like with the Soviets and the Germans.
Yeah.
That cracked me up, and that's fucked up. She's like holding a book and her ass is hanging out. But since I mentioned Pol Pot, I should mention that she's like sitting there with a wine glass on a throne of skulls.
A throne of skulls.
Which
with all these blank-eyed
Khmer Rouge people in the background, just kind of like, duh. It's fucked up, but it's still awesome. Fucking Pol Pot. It's just the Throne of Skulls thing is not a joke, by the way.
Yeah, no,
that's not an exaggeration. I wish that was an exaggeration. It's not. They actually still have like places where you can go and look at all those skulls. I saw it on some like one of those like the Learning Channel expose type things where they over like in Cambodia and whatnot, and they were basically showing like these Hall of Skull things or whatever. It was fucking mortifying. Like it was one of those things that just it's not something that I think we're taught about really.
No.
Oh, not really.
But then we're not taught about Unit 731 also.
To be fair, that's slightly different because that was
Hideki Tojo's in the book too.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I think the reason that's different is because that was just an outright war crime, whereas in this case, this was purely done to pretty much his own people.
Yeah.
Right.
And the reason it was kind of hidden for a while, at least the Unit 731 thing, is because most of the information we got that came out of that, they sold to us.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, it's one of the reasons it probably was kind of hush-hush.
Yeah, I know.
Scary stuff. Like, live vivisections and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, just like horrifying things. Like if you look at some of these, I think there's a book called Men Behind the Sun, or is it a movie or something.
Yeah, I saw the movie. I seen.
Ooh.
Yeah. It was like a Taiwanese or Hong Kong movie.
Yeah, it's just awful.
They used like this creepy synth music that actually worked really well.
Right. I mean,
It's like not technically a horror movie, but it almost might as well be.
But I think that's something in general. I don't think a lot of the communist like death camps and tolls and stuff are really explored very much anymore.
Oh, I love this one. I'm looking
Not
at it now.
anymore.
I love this one, Kim Il Sung. That's done as an idol singer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of in that personality of of him as a dictator, actually.
Yeah, exactly.
Ask one of my uncles. He was there when that nutbag was in power. So the Moe book, it was like a 3-day controversy. It came and went.
Yeah.
For those out there, the clientele who enjoy our show, you'll dig it. Go look it up.
It's fantastic.
It's very entertaining.
And if you find it on Jailbrew, they've translated all the blurbs.
Yeah, and there are a lot of them.
You actually learn something.
Yeah. I love that. It's an educational book.
It is, and it's morbidly so, but I would absolutely recommend checking it out and go Pol Pot.
It's like Robert Mugabe is responsible for hyperinflating the Zimbabwean dollar, driving the value of their currency way down.
And that's the other thing. Educational. We should call it that.
That's gonna be the name
title
of this episode. Let me.
Yeah, I'm down with that. And again, that I'm sure after the 50s and the Cold War scare, that's not so much of a. Those things aren't really talked about as much at length anymore.
Yeah, I back in school, I really did not learn a thing about the Cold War.
Oh no, not specifics, not about all these horrible fucking mass genocides and stuff.
Most of the stuff about the Cold War I learned on my own. Like I didn't.
Me too.
I did not. The most I touched on the Cold War was in college, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, there's like when we were talking about how Stalin and pretty much instigated a famine.
Yeah.
And I mean on purpose. And that's why that's why Ukraine got so fucked up, or one of the reasons they got fucked up anyway. Amongst other places, and like millions of deaths.
Oh yeah.
Just like scary shit. I can't think of another time except for Mao, really, that there was that a famine happened on purpose. You know.
I like Drawing Girl says maybe that's why there's so many young socialists now.
To a certain extent, that's actually correct.
I would say so.
People who didn't live through when we were, at war with communism.
I'll say this: I have some buddies from the Eastern Bloc, from like Poland and so forth.
Yeah.
And they just are pretty mortified by some of these people.
Oh yeah.
Tell them that people identify as Marxist feminists.
Yeah, they are very, very not on board with that. Which is interesting because all these other places now write about Eastern Europe as like the redneck backwoods part of Europe, and it's like you're just saying that because they're not buying into this.
And they all have like the stupid piercings and the dyed hair and
Well, that's just like signaling there. I mean, that's the visual aspect of it.
But yeah.
And I mean, a good example is, okay, go up to the average teenager, 17, 18, 19, and ask them about things like the Great Leap Forward. And you'll learn a lot.
5 years plan.
Yeah, the 5-year plan.
They always have names like that too.
Yeah, they do. What was the other big Mao one? It wasn't the Great Leap Forward. There was the other one, the Cultural Revolution.
Yeah.
I could have sworn there was another one though, and I can't think of the name of it. Anyway, these were these innocent-sounding names as they were, or anything but. First off, most of the time, like people like when Lenin and things like that, when they got in power, the first thing they did was killed off all the intellectuals.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pretty much just lined them up and.
This isn't about intellectual. This is about creating safe space.
No, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Oh, I keep hearing that when I want to forget that thing. I keep seeing that clip, and it's just like, ugh. Like, how the fuck can you not feel safe at Yale? Like, I can't even, if I was walking on the grounds of Yale, I would be arrested.
Number one, you're in Connecticut, first of all. Number two, you're in Yale.
Yale. You know, like, yes, Yale.
Ivy League.
Ivy League school. Like, that apparently there's some gigantic sex slave ring running in its basement.
Of course.
You know, I don't know. I don't know if these people are just fucking nuts or if they're...
1 in 3 women at campus will be raped. Or something like that.
That number changes every time I hear it.
Yeah, 1 in 4, whatever. Some.
You're currently raping someone now. You know,
raping me just by looking at them.
Forgetting the point that forgetting the thing that most kidnappings, rapes, and things like that are done by people they know.
Yeah, Drawing Girl says because Halloween costumes are bad. Yes.
Oh, I forgot about that.
And of course,
again, this would have been better third segment material. We're kind of getting off into.
Yeah.
But to kind of bring it back.
Yeah.
Bring it back down to earth.
Yeah, there's some stuff I can get mad about, but it's not to a level that I see other people just get mad about stuff that just doesn't matter. Like this Moy Dictator's book. There was no reason anyone should have been mad about that at all.
I mean,
they made a book where they turned Hugo Chavez into some.
Does he have an iPod?
Anime girl. No, it looks like a professional wrestler.
It's like Hugo Chavez. He's privatizing your oil.
Yeah, she has like enormous titties. You can find like the galleries and all that. I know you want.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
By the way, Venezuela is in really bad shape right
now. They're not.
Like I've seen videos and clips right now that are absolutely scary.
Oh yeah, the what's that name?
This is
it's like barren.
People lining across a bridge to get to a food depot.
Yeah.
I mean, just really scary. I mean, not even funny. Like, really spooky.
Oh, I love the translation too. It's gender swap. Yeah, like that's what Niao Tai translates as. Yeah. Dictator biographies of the world.
Yeah, I mean, again, I thought it was clever, if nothing else.
Again,
it's just funny. It's amusing. It's an amusing little anecdote.
And plus, of course, Hitler is having a very soon look on their face.
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
I mean, could they really have made him smiling?
I think people would have been even angrier about that.
just like, well, again, I mean, it's not like it's a joke. I mean, he really was a painter.
Yeah.
I mean, that was his aim before he got into politics, was to join the Vienna School of Arts, if I'm not mistaken. Good times. But it is. I mean, I really want to encounter it. Like I said, if somebody wants to send me like a Secret Santa thing or something of it, or just donate one to NTR Radio. We're good.
If I see that at a con, I'm snapping it up.
Oh, for sure.
That's happening.
Okay, a couple other controversies that we can throw out there before we wrap it up and go to the break. One that always bothers me, and to me, it's not a controversy really to me. It's more of almost an entitlement type of thing. It's when people complain about multimedia, the way stories are told. For example, when games, manga, and all these are all kind of interlocked, and you kind of have to follow them across multimedia.
I get
I'm
it.
with
Like,
you.
that's like how, like, okay, you know, like how I'm a big fan of Idolmaster, particularly of Cinderella Girls. But
Right.
if you're watching it, you don't get to know as much of the personalities, especially of the minor things, unless you like read the biographies on like.
Right, or like Berserk. If you've only seen the anime, you're missing out, big time. Because the manga is so much more expansive. But all these VNs and things like that a lot of these things are based off of.
Yeah.
And they've been went through the adaptation process. Sorry. And people bitch about, well, I don't want to have to play the game first. And it's like, well, yeah, but the show is aimed at people who like the game, though.
Honestly, I think it's the other way around. I think that people talk about, oh, I shouldn't have to play the game first. You don't really. Most of these shows are such that you can watch the show as a full experience and get the full experience out of that. Like, it's not necessary, but people act like it is because for some reason, I don't know.
Well, yeah, and then the bitching about it. It's very just strikes me as very kind of head scratching more than anything else. Just like, okay, well, if you don't like these kind of shows, then don't watch them. I mean, don't invest any time in it.
Yeah, if you want to get a full thing out of the work, then you're gonna have to do some.
You're gonna have to get your hands dirty
and look into the source material. And honestly, that's not just for anime. That's for a whole lot of other media.
That's just all kinds of shit.
If you want to get anything about the story of Virtualon, just playing the games isn't going to help you. Because you're going to play through the first game, play through the second game, you're going to play through the third game, get zero story out of that. Then you're going to play the fourth game, which is completely story-based, and be absolutely confused as to what's going on. Because you didn't go through the supplementary material. Which is fine, but then don't complain about not getting the whole of the story.
Right. If you're not willing, I don't know, maybe that's just me, but if you're not willing to put in the extra work to go through the proper channels to learn all this stuff, then don't really complain about it. I don't understand that. It's not like you have to watch or engage with this stuff. I mean...
Draw and Go references Clannad. People complain that the story makes more sense in the visual novel, and then people bitch, I should have to play the visual novel to understand this. You don't really need to play the visual novel to understand Clannad. Yeah, the story still makes more sense in the VN, but it still makes sense. There's no real reason that you shouldn't be able to understand what's going on in the anime. If like the anime style of story is all you want out of Clannad, if the story that the anime tells is all you want out of that property, then you don't really have a reason to play the visual novel.
Okay, another quick one, and this will be a quick one. Can we just all kind of agree to say fuck Harmony Gold?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for making Macross a real bitch.
Thanks for ruining Macross for us. Thanks for perpetuating a decades-long at this point legal battle with the people who make Mech Warrior, so we can't get any more of these really cool mechs that were back in the day.
I actually got one more controversy, and then we'll go to the third break.
Preach it.
Okay. When people complain about like the authenticity of cosplay, where it's like people of a larger size shouldn't cosplay, or only Japanese people should cosplay, or
That's an entire rant that I can go on.
Yeah, that's a whole episode in the making there. To me, that's really ridiculous because, well, first off, there's not going to be hardly any cosplaying over here if that's the case. Okay, just because, well, despite what some people say, most of those characters aren't white.
Yeah, I think the whole thing's silly. It's like, do what you...
It's dumb. It's just like, yeah, are they a natural blue?
It's...
You know what I mean?
And this is something that's just been going on throughout the Western fan base and throughout Western cosplay and con culture. Cosplay's sort of taken over fandom to an extent where it's arguably the most visible part of fandom regardless of where you go. So there's a whole lot of people who are now basically trying to make a career out of it when like half a percentage point of the people who ever try that are going to succeed at it. But everyone's still trying to do it because they see, oh, this person, that person, that person, they make really nice costumes. I like my costumes. People enjoy my costumes. I think I can pose a bit. I'm going to try and be a cosplay model. And they don't end up getting that sort of clout because for
what was that
for one
show?
reason or
Heroes
another.
of Cosplay.
Heroes of Cosplay. That's another culprit. I could do another thing on that and how that ruined the shit for everyone. But
yeah, sci-fi has not helped with any of this stuff.
yeah.
The internet ruined my life.
Yeah.
But it's like there's no reason for it to be that serious. There's no reason for any of this shit to be that serious. We are a bunch of fucking nerds running around dressed as cartoon characters.
Possibly with prop weapons.
Possibly with prop weapons. Just accept how dumb the things you do are, and move on from there.
Look, you're in your 20s or 30s and running around with a plastic sword.
Yeah.
Calm down.
Yeah, LARPing.
It's not even LARPing. This is just straight up cosplay. You are 25 years old,
or more,
running around dressed as a cartoon character, dressed as someone who's a decade younger than you, just a cartoon character.
Yeah.
Realize
the absurdity of this. Realize the absurdity of this.
And cool again.
And that's why you shouldn't be picking on people in this regard.
That's not trying to disparage anyone, but just just don't stay. Just keep yourself grounded. Keep it down to earth with it.
Mirrors, man.
So
do you have one?
Ridiculous.
Like you do realize you're dressed as Vash the Stampede, right? While you're bitching at somebody else.
Yes, you're dressed as a character from a show that came out damn near 20 years ago. Let's be real.
You're dressing as a character on a show that was around before you existed.
You're not God's gift to cosplay. You're just another nerd dressed up as a cartoon character.
No, that's Jessica Negri, right?
Of course.
Supposedly. I've never met her.
Allegedly. I don't know.
Allegedly. Allegedly. Mahogany.
But yeah, I'm with VZ. That shit's dumb. It's got to stop. It's just it's another extent. It's another extent of people who may have been picked on or bullied when they were younger and in school, rather than moving past that and using it as a way to empower other people to overcome that, they become the bully. They find some way to it, and this goes back to other stuff I'm talking about, the Western fan base in anime. This goes all the way back to that first article we were talking about. It's like they have to find some way to derive superiority to other people based on something that they already do. They can't. It's not like, oh, I'm gonna derive superiority to other people based on doing something that's of great value to society. No, I'm gonna derive superiority to other people based on me being born looking more like one character than this person does.
As opposed to, I'm going to be the best there ever was.
Yeah, as opposed, and make no mistake, I have a lot of respect for cosplayers that put in a lot of work. There's cosplayers out there that work out and try to actually sculpt their physique to look like their character. I have a lot of respect for that, but that's not something to derive. It's not something to derive a sense of superiority to the extent that you're downing on other people who are doing the same thing you are. They just didn't go through that effort because they're not as into it as you are, which is fair, but there's no reason to disparage people.
I don't know. Creative ones are pretty amusing too.
I'm a big fan of seeing cosplays that you don't see fucking everywhere.
Well, not only that, but I like things that are just like creatively humorous, like the trash can that says your waifu on it.
Okay, I'm gonna be real. I am so goddamn sick of that trash can.
Really?
Because ever since that one, it was like AX last year that someone did it, right?
I don't know.
And ever since that happened, every con I've seen one or two
that was like...
people go on with the trash can. I'm like, okay, I get it. You're not original, but you desperately want to be funny. Understand? Cool
That's like the
gay.
thing with the That's like the thing with the Remember, you ever see the Gundam that's just the cardboard box?
The box Gundam.
And then everyone copied that.
I feel like that can be more creative because there's stuff you can do with that. Like last Kineticon, I saw someone with that same aesthetic, except they were carrying a sword and a shield, and it said Narazaku on it instead of Gundam.
Right. Yeah.
Well, I've seen things kind of like that. I saw somebody. This wasn't at AX. This was just over time. I saw somebody that was in kind of like one of those box outfits, right?
Right.
But they were also under a bigger box, and it said Boxception on it. That was weird.
That's kind of clever. But what I really like seeing is just cosplay that you really don't see a whole lot of.
I've seen
cosplays from older anime. Like
I saw someone dressed up as Mazinger from Mazinger Z.
Yeah, stuff like that. I'm trying to convince a friend of mine to cosplay as Lin Min Mei.
That would be sweet.
I feel like people would actually appreciate that.
Especially if you go to a bigger one where there's liable to be all kinds of people there.
Yeah, exactly.
And not just like a bunch of noobs. Or how about I've seen...
So
I usually
Or she wants to do June from Gatchaman.
Ooh, okay.
And I'm like, yeah, there are people who would recognize that.
Or how about... I often see a Char.
Yep.
I'm okay with that tradition staying there. Let's see here. Usually you see a Yoko from Gurren Lagann.
Yep.
A Tifa.
Love Live is the new thing. Love Live is like everywhere.
Obviously,
now.
Sailor Moon.
Everywhere. Sailor Moon, obviously.
Miku.
Yep.
The
Vocaloids kind of died down.
It does, but you're still gonna see one, I'm sure.
Of course.
But yeah, occasionally you'll see stuff that's just really kind of like, whoa, that's weird. Like when I went to that Go Nagai panel and someone was dressed up in the Mazinger, in the Mazinger outfit, like the actual robot.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool.
So I remember a few ABs back. So
I was like one of the only 6 people who even knew what it was. That was horrible.
But I remember a few ABs back. We were at the Faku panels, and there was someone in the back dressed as Rance.
Really?
Yeah.
Ouch. I could see some people having a problem with that. Let's see. I hands down, the craziest one I've seen was Rin Kokonoha.
I've yet to see a Rin.
and not even at a big con, at my local one. That had to be the weirdest. Like at first I wasn't sure until I noticed like the ball things they have in their hair.
The little hair ornaments.
And I was just like, no fucking way. And of course one of my friends, or I guess I should say more was of a acquaintance, because didn't really hang out with them after that. But they were trying to get photos, like, oh, where were they at? And I was just like, okay, mildly creeped out by your enthusiasm. But that same crew was the ones I was telling you about, like the one who was actually working security.
Right.
That was dressed up like an elf or whatever.
Yeah.
Like Link, and was yelling copious amounts of semen in the entrance for some reason. Oh yeah, we did see a Mayoi at Expo. We did. They were going down the escalator.
Like the past 3 cons, I've seen a Mayoi, but I never got the chance to take a picture of her.
Again, because I was going up and they were going down, or maybe it was the other way around. But
see, yeah. At that point, I would have just turned around and hope to catch up with her.
They're a little too big to do that, though. There's so many people. But yeah, occasionally you'll see some pretty interesting. Seeing again.
Take one from me.
Friggin',
are you on sale?
AB a couple years ago, I was with it was like the Mecha versus Kaiju themed convention. So it was a whole lot of cosplays from Mecha series, a whole lot of cosplays from like Kaiju stuff and all. And I found Isamu Dyson from Macross Plus.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You know who I want to see, and I never do? I always want to see a Girin.
Girin Zabi. I've seen so many cosplays from like other cons of just the great Xeon figures, Haman Karn, Shar Aznable, like all different iterations of Shar Aznable.
I've seen Delaz before.
Mineva. Delaz. I've never seen a Delaz cosplay.
It was a Japanese guy.
Cosplayers.
Naturally.
Cosplay as Kaneko, please.
I've never seen, and I know why.
We need some Idolmaster cosplay up in here. Let's be real.
I know why I haven't, but I've never seen any Strike Witches ones yet.
I've seen 2.
And the thing is, I normally would say it's because of the outfits, but it's not, because I've seen people doing Kill la Kill.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. How about Vivid Red? No,
it's really not. No, I've never seen a Vivid Red. The thing with Strike Witches is I don't think it's the outfits so much as the creating the striker unit.
Yeah,
no, you don't have to have the striker unit, because
you don't have to, but it helps.
But it would.
That's
look
like
better.
That's like if I was to do, I don't know. That's like if I was to do Char with like everything but the mask.
Yeah, no.
I love cosplay of what's it? Shimaneta. No, Shimakaze.
I've seen a few Shimakazes at AB.
Yeah, but I love the way the Japanese ones do it, because they keep it so slavishly, like to the. If you know what I mean.
Well, I mean, obviously you'll see Asukas and Reis and all
Naturally.
that. Yeah. But here's one, you don't see them as much anymore, and that's kind of sad. But I don't see a whole lot of C2s anymore.
Yeah.
They're kind of going the.
I'm really disappointed about that.
Yeah, but you were just wanting to.
You still see some Monikas.
Yeah, but see, you got to understand, he's in a Zero costume.
Yeah, so I'm naturally inclined to seek out C2.
Yeah, and no one can tell if he's perving out on her giant butt.
No, nobody can tell where you're looking when you're under that mask.
Okay, I think we got to come up on the break.
Yeah, we are far across the line from the break. Keep it right here on NTR Radio. And let's get some music up in here.
I used to see Haruhi cosplays. Yeah. Those have went by the wayside too.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Ooh, hey, maybe this. I got an idea for our next segment there.
Uh-oh.
Well, you know what? Check this out. I'm gonna post it in the link in the chat.
Roger that.
Maybe if it lets me do it. Check this out. I think we might have some interesting things we can read off of here.
Lovely.
And there is 149 results. So how many pages are there? 15.
I don't know. I don't really see it. Group chat. No, I don't see it.
It's in the IRC.
The IRC chat.
Oh, duh.
Oh yeah. Even while I'm podcasting, that anime hug pillow hustle don't stop. just had an order shipped out minutes ago.
Isn't the one hanging behind you the one you used in that video?
That one?
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought so.
What is it of? Or you want a surprise?
What, the one that's just shipped out?
Yeah.
That was a Rinko Iori from Build Fighters.
Right, nice.
Nice.
I had a show shipped today.
Huh.
When supernatural battles become commonplace.
I can't stop looking
I've been
at...
watching that. I've been watching that, thoroughly enjoying it.
Yeah.
I cannot stop looking at the rotating toilet in the background.
Yeah. Oh, did you get up to episode 4?
I don't know what episode I'm on. I'm gonna have to.
The lowly episode.
No, I didn't get. To
All right, then you're probably. that one's funny.
I love they're just sitting there on the toilet while it's rotating. For those of you not looking at the visual here, you're really missing out.
Yeah. This month is like crazy expensive because I have like 3 figures and a book and so, but after that it'll be a little lighter. I'm not having it shipped yet.
I actually have a pre-order that's coming in this month. I need to check on that.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Hobby Japan is doing a sale on Robot Damashi. You might want to check for the GM Sniper.
I might check on that.
Yeah, that one's really good.
This was September 23rd of last year.
Yeah.
Was when this thread popped up. So there might be some interesting things to read out of this. If nothing else, we can laugh at some of the more outrageous stuff.
Oh yeah, okay. I've got that. The second Cecilia Alcott quarter-scale Bunny Girl figure coming in this month.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh, I sent you from Amazon yesterday. They have Takane really cheap.
Yeah, that one I might check out too.
Takane. I need to get this Yayoi one.
What I need really is a new figure to put in the back of my car, facing out the back window.
just like hanging out, like where people put their decals.
You know what you put in.
That's what I did because I used to have Talitha Testarossa from Full Metal Panic.
No, you know what you put in the back?
I always liked that character.
Fucked itself, so.
You know what you put in the back? Put it a plushie.
No, I used to actually, before I put in the Tessa figure, I used to have a plushie in like a. I called it drugged out baby Godzilla because that's exactly what it looked like.
I feel like I've went into a Mega Man remix level.
This is lemonade while on break.
I like how this mod is actually defending this stupid shit. And they do the favorite thing you love, Anubis. learn to laugh at yourselves.
It's funny how there's only one group of people that's ever told to learn to laugh at themselves, but
And then here's the big fallacy.
But then when they look at everyone else, they're not laughing at themselves, they're laughing at, them.
No, but here's the other one. This is even more egregious. For a movement that's apparently so anti-PC, they sure get easily offended. Wow. I don't even know how to respond to that. Missing the point?
Wait, that Beyonce reference was lame too? They added a Beyonce reference? What?
Look at this idiot. I think that data jokes are a good thing, because when you're watching in the future, you can remember where hot button topics were. Not in a fucking show like this!
Not in a show like this. And
That's fine if you're watching C-SPAN.
Number two, it's still not right to take something someone else made and twist it around to say something it didn't say.
Wait, Ultimate Otaku Teacher had some lines about SJWs. I don't believe a single person made a fuss about it, either because they weren't watching the dub or didn't care about dubs. Maybe they just didn't care about SJW jokes. Person's going to joke about gaming, and suddenly there are between dozens and hundreds of people on forums. It's like, not about Gamergate.
Alright, we're on this third segment.
I am.
Switch it on back to the soundboard. In 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to NTR Radio.
We have a special treat for you.
Yes.
I did a little digging. If you're not listening to the thing on YouTube, to where you're hearing the intermissions, as it were, then you don't know this. But I found the thread on Funimation where all this went down.
Yes. So this is the big Gamergate reference thread in the Funimation forums under Funimation School shows N through Z under P Prison School. The Gamergate quip in episode 7 isn't gonna fly too well. And the title really says it all.
It really does, and a lot of interesting stuff pop in here. The biggest post I can think of that really it's all that needs to be said is, looks like Funny forgot where their bread was buttered.
Bingo!
I can tell you it's not the perpetually offended Twitter SJWs who buy their Blu-rays, especially not for a show like this.
Triple bingo.
Full of things they hate. If I were them, I'd find that translator that slipped the line and have a nice long chat about why they shouldn't do that again and who their actual audience is.
And I'm not gonna name names, but probably the person should be ashamed of themselves in the way they reacted.
Okay, and then Ahmad pops in. They were on this like flies on shit.
Naturally.
I'm surprised they didn't close the thread right then and there, because that's kind of the MO a lot of these places do. Or actually, you're kind of the. It seems like that's the methodology.
Yeah.
You know. Okay, talking about. Okay. Yeah, basically, let me say right now, we're not going to get into another debate on these forums. Don't even try.
Well,
me.
and here's the thing. What a wonderful way to completely deflect what the actual issue is.
Well, right. It's just like they say here: if they can't learn to laugh at themselves just a little bit at this point, then it's their loss. What is there to laugh at about being called a creepo?
Yeah.
Here's
the thing. They say learn to laugh at yourself, but what they're really saying is we're gonna shit on you all the time. We're gonna treat you like as bad as we possibly can, and you're just gonna deal with it. Laugh at yourself. That's what they're saying.
Right.
But they're wrapping it up in a whole, oh, you're just taking yourself too seriously sort of bullcrap. When really what they're saying is, I'm gonna treat you like shit, and you're gonna deal with it.
I'm gonna treat you like shit, and you're gonna deal with it. It's like I have to put up with a shitty release of Lucky Star.
But
Hey,
yeah.
it's also Funimation. Coincidence? Maybe. I'm willing to believe it's a coincidence, but I'm also willing to believe it isn't.
Right, and going down to, I've moved the second page. There's 15. There'll probably be. Here's a good one. Here's some serious nonsense. Again, we're not going to name names because we don't want you trying to pester any of these people. I think that dated jokes are a good thing. I'm just going to stop you right there. Dated jokes in a show, I mean, they're fine when they're actually relevant to the show. Because, I mean, dated jokes, especially when, again, like I said, if the joke was actually in there to begin with, okay, fine. Then it would just be a dated joke. But this is a dated pop culture reference almost immediately.
I'm not even like that again to me is deflecting the real issue.
Oh, it is.
Someone changed part of a work they had no hand in making in order to insult a bunch of people they don't like. That's the core issue to me.
Well, here's a person responding properly. Going to heartily disagree with you on this one. We can go back to shows like South Park to see what hot button topics of the past were.
Yeah.
This sort of thing has no place in an anime dub.
Exactly.
I mean, really.
The next, not to be melodramatic, but it is really screwing with the original artistic intention.
Multi-kill!
And then, of course, somebody points out that, what bugs me and should bug you and everyone else here is that a big and unnecessary change from the original source material. When dubbing something, naturally some things are going to change, as they're far too different for that not to be the case. Sentence structure, wording, slang, all these things change in between versions. This is basic localization. Even things like obscure idioms and such should be changed to something analogous as well. But that's not what happened here.
Exactly.
First problem with completely going off script was the joke wasn't funny. It was the lowest form of referential humor, just saying the name. In addition to not being funny, it's also based on something extremely niche that would go over most people's heads, and will only become more baffling and dumb as time goes on, dating themselves in the worst way. These reasons alone make the line a really stupid decision. The worst part, though, is that it was politically motivated.
Yep.
That's pretty much crystal clear. Someone wanted to make a jab, so they made one, because they personally dislike it. A translator intentionally did their job badly, so they could inject their personal politics into something that has no business playing host to them. That's my problem. Okay. And then, of course, here comes the mod again, panicking. I just want to state that once more that if this thread turns into another SJW versus Gamergate thread, I will lock it up tighter than Fort Knox's butt crack.
Yeah, which it didn't. But I want to reiterate that to make it look, to once again deflect from the real issue. make it look like that's what's happening.
And then, of course, here's another stupid defense. I mean, hell, if every dub director was completely faithful to the original intent, we wouldn't be blessed with gems like the Ghost Stories dub. I'm okay with this trade-off.
Number one, I'm A-okay with that happening. I didn't really care for Ghost Stories, and that's not my kind of anime. Number two, Ghost Stories was atypical.
Yeah, it even says that was a special case.
They were given free reign with it to do whatever they wanted.
Yeah.
What I would really like to know is, like, what would the people who made Prison School think of people doing this to their shit? Saying, me, I wouldn't be too appreciative of it, but I don't know. If I worked really hard on a work of media and the people I've entrusted to localize it in another country and bring it over there did some shit like this to it, I wouldn't be very happy.
Okay, let's see here.
Here's one. The main issue people are taking isn't something like, oh no, they're insulting Gamergate. The biggest issue I've noticed people are having, and this is from reading across Twitter and the internet as a whole, is the fact that it's a blatant rewrite of the script for no reason. The original line wasn't even a joke, nor was it an insult. Is the Gamergate name drop dated? Yes. Is it in poor taste? Very yes. But the main issue is that it's literally a worthless rewrite for absolutely no reason at all, other than somebody deciding they didn't want to actually translate/localize the show and want to drop some epic memes instead.
Okay, and then there's this person also trying to... no one seemed to give any shit at all during the many times he did change the script. No one ever seems to give a shit when every freaking anime dub show does this. Steins Gate had Cake is a Lie. High School of the Dead had Sarah Palin. They had Dark Knight references in Saint Frog. There are probably plenty of irrelevant Western pop culture stuff that definitely is not in the original Hitalia stuff. This shit isn't new. I'm not reading all of this. There's too much of it. And it's like all the people that would be upset about this development already in Gamergate that are upset were never going to watch this show in the first place. Oh, that's funny.
Oh, that's.
They probably
People are
already.
lying.
They're probably just sub-only fans that now want to use this as an excuse to say dubs are evil.
Nope.
Sub is the way of life or something. You're an idiot. Seriously, you're a fucking moron.
I'm out of us three here. I'm probably the person who's most lenient about modern dubs. I think most of them are fine.
It gets better than this, though, man. They probably already pirate all their anime, and now will take pride in pirating Funimation anime because, haha, we're boycotting this evil company, supporting shoving political agendas in my Japanese cartoons. All in caps. And bolded.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, fuck yourself. I have plenty of Funimation releases on this shelf, and I would like to add to that if they could stop fucking up their anime. And again, deflecting the issue. The issue isn't, is this person going back to the dub versus sub debate like it's 1999 again.
Actually, that was even a bigger thing when we didn't have DVD.
Yeah, that was back when they were on separate VHS tapes and you had to pay more for the subtitle version.
You did, I know, because I found that out the hard way.
So it's not even dub versus sub thing. I'm completely fine with dubs. I watch them all the time. It's the fact that they changed what was originally intended in the show. Because at that point, I'm not watching Prison School. I'm watching Funimation Presents Prison School, and I don't want to fucking watch Funimation Presents Prison School. It's not what
For some reason, I'm just having that funny little flashback of Family Guy when Peter takes over the fucking...
Peter Griffin presents the
King and I.
What I'm referencing.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and he just completely starts randomly changing everything.
Yeah.
I am
Drawing girl in
but
the
you can call
IRC.
me Anna.
Drawing girl in the IRC. It's not the fact that the dub added a lame dated joke. It's the fact that they're insulting people and shoving their political views. And I would add to that, it's the fact that they're taking a work of media they had no hand in creating and changing it to insult people and shove their political views in. Because that's more important to them than giving people a product they paid for.
Right. I mean, let's see here. See if there's anything else interesting here. Most of it's just repeating of things we've already said in different ways. And some of these are just bitching back and forth at each other, like they always are.
Here's some of the rebuttal to that last one you just read. So they were talking about Steins Gate having the cake is a lie, High School of the Dead with Sarah Palin and all that. Okay, here's the response. I didn't watch Italia, High School of the Dead, or Sergeant Frog, so I can't speak to them. Steins Gate, however, had the cake is a lie in a scene where it was put in place of a 2chan meme. This is perfectly a 2-channel meme. This is perfectly acceptable. Why? Because 2-channel memes don't make sense in English, because they rely on the context of 2-channel, a Japanese image board, written in Japanese, where you need a Japanese IP to post. The cake is a lie meme is a Western meme. It is literally the same context as the 2-channel one, but this is the one the West would know. Why is it okay when Steins Gate did it? Because they took a joke line, localized the joke, with the joke of familiar context. This is localization, and it helps the narrative flow properly. Because that scene wasn't about internet memes. They swapped a Japanese meme for an English one. This is literally a perfect fit. What did Prison School do that made it not okay? Shouldn't have to spell it out, but I will. I'm a second year. You should be polite to your seniors isn't a meme. LOL Gamergate is political trash bordering on dank meme age. If Prison School had a line about a Japanese Twitter thing or a Japanese group that was similar to Gamergate, go for it. Knock yourself out. But don't blatantly rewrite the script because it'll be funny, lol.
Okay, here's another thing. This same mod was on Twitter saying, quote, "The best part of making fun of gators, the fact that you can't use the you triggered me excuse." Or the fact that they can't use the you triggered me excuse.
Why am I not surprised that the same mod is out there acting a fool based on acting a fool on Twitter? Because, why not? I don't like these people either, so I'm just gonna go off on a tangent. Also, Drawing Girl adds that the cake is a lie thing doesn't insult people.
Yeah.
I think I'm harping on a lot about changing work that these people had no hand in creating, but I think there's a lot of that can be said about insulting part of your fan base. Insulting part of your fucking consumer base.
Since you said that, this ties in well with what you just said. Okay, somebody responds, first time poster here. I don't spend a lot of time on anime forums. I'm usually too busy watching it. Good for you. That's usually what I would like to say too. I've spent a fair amount of time in Gamergate forums. I understand there is an artistic leeway with translations. I'm not too upset that this translation isn't pure. I'm also not upset at using the joke as a line. That's not a big deal. But then I looked at the person credited as the lead writer, Jamie Marchi? Okay, whatever. Two of the people she follows on Twitter are some of the most relentless attackers of gamers and gaming culture. Her politics, for the most part, match theirs. Suddenly, that joke doesn't seem so innocuous. It's like Bill Cosby telling rape jokes, or David Duke telling, a racial epithet. They aren't really joking. However, looking at her profile, I had more hope. Okay, unfortunately, things are upset because there's a woman involved. Takes credit. Line. I'm not reading all of this shit. Just so I'm clear, okay. They're referring to that, Cecil the Lion shit. Let's see here. Okay. Anyway, the point is, a lot of this stuff is I mean, this is actually an interesting read because you're kind of seeing like the narrative spin as it's happening.
Yeah.
Which is the main reason I went and got it.
Yeah, it becomes very apparent that there is a spin happening here. There is a very obvious attempt to deflect from the real issues here and cover up for people who did something they shouldn't have done.
Yeah, I mean, so if you really want to check it out, you can. Well, we told you where to go.
Yeah.
Anything else, or we're wrapping up?
Let's get this thing up like a condom.
Yes, indeed. That's the show. The email address is ntrradio@gmail.com. The website is sheslostcontrol.net/ntrradio. Check out VZ's stuff at vzmk2moemekagatai.wordpress.com. Check out Nyan the magazine at sheslostcontrol.net/nyaan. Check out yashike.moe. Twitter at teanubis at vzmk2. And as always, actually, I think that's about it. In any case, I'm Tom Forster Anubis.
I'm K-Gods.
I'm VZ Mark II.
And even though they change our script every time we say it, this is NTR Radio.